We're live from Radio Row in New Orleans. We made it here last night late, and we're here amongst the people. This is a crazy scene here, and if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see a lot of activity, people walking by. It'll get busier as the day goes on. We'll have a lot of guests float through here, a lot of important people, a lot of ex-football players that I've seen that are like 6'8", 400 pounds. They're all over the place here. So we're going to have some fun today, bringing you this historic broadcast, which is something you want to be part of today. This is, if you've ever wanted to call on a show, this would be the show. We're going to be here for today and tomorrow and Friday as we inch towards the Super Bowl with the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. It's hard to tell right now at the city. The city will get really crowded starting today going into the weekend, but it's hard to tell right now whether Eagle fans and Kansas City fans are representing. I can't get a feel yet on how many Eagle fans are here. I don't think they're here yet, but I'm told that the airplanes are now being filled with Eagle fans to come down here. My partner, Bill Colarulo, is here. Bill, this is your first time down here in this colossal production called Radio Row. What are your first impressions?
It's awesome, man. I mean, it really is. It's absolutely awesome. It feels surreal to be down here with the Philadelphia Eagles in it, and you walk through the door. Well, first of all, they use that facial recognition to give us our credentials, which is pretty cool. And then you walk through the doors of Radio Row, and it's just so overwhelming. Every meaningful sports talk show is here right now live. You're seeing people. You're running into people. We're waiting for our bags yesterday. Puka Nacua standing next to us. Kyle Long sitting on the plane with us. It's just very cool that every single person that's had anything to do with the NFL seems to be right here in New Orleans with us. It's awesome.
The kid from Temple University.
Oh, yeah, Dawkins from the Buffalo Bills.
Dawkins from the Buffalo Bills was at the airport.
He was chilling there.
Yes. So we have a lot of themes to talk about today. And, again, where like a controversial take is always discussable, especially for Eagle fans when, one of our players seems to be insulted. And this time it was Dan Orlovsky who came. Yesterday it was Nick Wright, that nobody really cares. But Dan Orlovsky, Mr. Football Analyst, made a really interesting statement, Bill. What did he say about Jalen Hurts? What exactly was the quote?
Well, we actually have the audio if you want to play it.
All right, let's start out with the audio of what Orlovsky said, and then we'll discuss.
I don't think there's anything that Jalen can do to be in the conversation with those three guys as players. I agree with your point that the Super Bowl it elevates the perception of him, but talent-wise, I don't think Jalen's ever going to be into that group. But if he wins a Super Bowl, then those three guys, we're going to have the conversations of when are they and if they will ever jump into there. But Stephen A., if I asked you to rank those four guys right now, like you get to draft those four guys right now, you're not taking Jalen Hurts over any of them. Correct?
No, you're not. No, you're not.
So
no, you're
I
not.
just
For
don't...
conversation... From a conversation perspective, I'm simply saying the conversation changes. I understand if you're analyzing and dissecting their games the way that Dan Orlovsky does. Certainly, he's a distant fourth compared to the other three.
Okay.
I got a major problem.
All right, what is your major problem? I mean, listen, I'm not trying to take that as fuel because I don't know if you can dispute that. Can you?
Well, here's where you could dispute it. First of all, to come out and say before Super Bowl 59 that there is literally nothing that Jalen Hurts can do in this game to get into the same conversation as Lamar, Burrow, and Mahomes. What if he outplays Patrick Mahomes again? Because he outplayed him 2 years ago. There was no doubt about it. What Jalen Hurts did in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, that stat line's never been done before with over 300 yards passing, 70 on the ground, 4 touchdowns. And how often, we talk about this in the NFL draft, how often do you look at the skill set of quarterbacks coming into the draft that don't pan out in the NFL? So when Orlovsky says, well, he'll never be discussed with these guys as having the same skill set. Well, isn't it about success? Isn't it ultimately about success? And just look at what Jalen Hurts has done in head-to-head matchups against Lamar, Josh Allen, and Burrow. He's 3-0. He's 3-0 against those guys.
Well, here's the comparison. And I know we have to go way back for this. Were they raving about Joe Montana's skill set?
No, they were not.
No, it was a different time.
What about Brady's?
Well,
Brady wasn't getting praise coming out of the draft either.
Not out of the draft, but once he started playing, you saw what the magic was for Brady because he was a great thrower. Now, Montana was an accurate thrower, but he wasn't a great thrower. He wasn't a runner. He got by with guile and became a great quarterback. The question is, can those type of guys really, can they be prevalent in the league anymore? Like Brock Purdy has sort of a Joe Montana type of feel about him. He's not obviously
went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, doesn't have greatness like Joe Montana had, but that's the type of quarterback that Montana is. Now, is Purdy ever mentioned in the pantheon of great quarterbacks? The ones that he's mentioning right there, I don't think Jalen Hurts would ever. When you put it side by side, the skill set of Jalen Hurts probably would not match those quarterbacks that he mentioned. But does it matter if you win, just like Montana?
It shouldn't matter if you win, but I have the issue with saying that he'll never be on their level because we've seen Jalen Hurts perform at an extremely high level. I know this year the passing game left a lot to be desired because they leaned heavily on the rushing attack, but you got to look at the big picture, and we've talked about it before, what Jalen does to also help that rushing attack. I'm just over him constantly getting put down and not considered up there with Lamar, Josh, or Burrow when he's had more success than all three of those guys combined. All three of those guys combined have been to one Super Bowl and they lost. Jalen's already now been to 2 Super Bowls. If he wins on Sunday and he performs again at a high level, that would be the third big game where Jalen Hurts has shined, because he shined in Super Bowl 57. He shined in the NFC Championship game 2 weeks ago. And now you're telling me if he comes out in Super Bowl 59 and has a game where he outperforms Patrick Mahomes, we're still going to say, yeah, but he don't have the skill set. I mean, that's stuff that you look at in the NFL draft, not once it's real applicable to game situations. Jalen Hurts should be in that conversation.
Okay, suppose he loses on Sunday and just plays, not bad, but he plays average. What will that do for the legacy of Jalen Hurts? He's been known as a winner. Well, 2 shots at the Super Bowl, and they would not have won. What does that mean for this quarterback?
He plays average?
Yeah.
You said?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would be – obviously, it doesn't elevate his legacy, but I don't know how much it would hurt his legacy because we've seen what he's done in 4 years as a starter. 4 playoff appearances, 2 Super Bowl appearances. If he plays average and they lose this game, which I don't think is going to happen, by the way, so I think it's going to be a moot point. I still expect as we get closer, the Eagles are going to win this game. I don't think it elevates his legacy, but he probably stays around where he is now, which we've talked about, top 6 or 7 quarterback in the NFL. But if he wins, his legacy elevates. If he loses, I don't think it drops. Now, if he plays terribly, maybe we have to have that conversation. I just don't see it happening, man. This kid is locked in. Everything I'm seeing from Hurts over the last couple of weeks, he is locked in. I think he's going to ball out on Sunday.
Okay. Well, we'll see if that happens. A victory for Hurts on Sunday may make him the best Eagle quarterback of all time. He may be able to surpass Donovan McNabb with 1 game here if they win this Super Bowl, right? You're pretty much.
I think it's
on that level.
If they win on Sunday, it's a guarantee that he goes down as the best quarterback in franchise history. I make the argument that he's already there. I think you make the argument he's already there, having been to the Super Bowl twice when McNabb only got there once in 10 years. I think he's already there. I understand people who are reluctant to put him there, but if he wins, I don't see how you argue at all. If he wins on Sunday, he is the best quarterback in franchise history. No argument.
All right, so we have a lot of stuff planned today in addition to these guests that we'll have that we don't know yet that we will have, but we will have certain guests that are scheduled. But we're going to make some big grabs here as we see some movie stars or TV stars or athletes come by. So you got to listen to this show all game long. And I just heard from Charles Barkley. Charles will be coming on the show today.
Charles.
That's right. Charles Barkley will be coming on the show today for his Super Bowl prediction.
I better be positive about the bird.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see because Charles likes to place Super Bowl bets. We're going to have to ask him.
Well, you see what's over my shoulder? FanDuel, baby.
Yeah, that is exactly right. And, of course, we're here courtesy of the great people at FanDuel. The Big Easy, that's where we are now. Live broadcast from Radio Row presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. All right, here's how you get in. Again, this is a historic show, and you can tell your grandchildren that you are actually on a show from historic Radio Row. 610-632-0975 is how you get into the show. It is the Mike Missanelli Show, live from New Orleans, the convention center here, which is called Radio Row, where I can see about 300 media entities. And I'll take a picture. We'll put it on Twitter. All right? We're back after this. From New Orleans, where we are actually 1 hour behind. So today I was on the Fox Morning Show. Now from the Cafe Beignet on Bourbon Street. Our hotel is in literally like the next block. So I just had to walk around the corner. However, the producers told me I'd be on at 7:30. So I set my alarm for 6:20.
Well, you got your times all messed up with the.
Well, wait a
hour
minute.
change.
Wait a minute. So six o'clock, like 5 of 6, I wake up before the alarm, and I go, I can just relax for 20 more minutes, and I go, hold it, it's 7 o'clock Eastern time. And I'm supposed to be on their show at 7:30. It wasn't specified to me that it would be 7:30 Eastern time. So I rush in the shower. I get up. I throw some clothes on. Boom! I went around the corner. I just made it.
You know what I did this
Just
morning? I had
made
a
it.
nice relaxing breakfast.
I knew you had a nice relaxing breakfast. But
How was it though? Was it a good
It
hit?
was good. Yeah, that was.
They
it
all
was,
excited?
Mike, Jarek, and Alex Holly.
That Mike
Yeah,
is a
okay.
character, man.
Yeah,
I've been seeing some of his videos from
I
down
have
here.
interacted with him during previous Super Bowls,
Yeah, he's a character.
and we crashed a lot of parties back in the day. Now I'm a little too old for the party crashing these days, but Jarek can go on forever, man.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We got in last night. We were a little tired. Went out, one drink, went right to bed. We wanted to make sure we had a good show for the people today.
See, Jarek and I have a great story together because we were at this other situation. It was like a get-together of some sort, and all the Fox 29 people were there, and including Chanel, who became a national star, right? Chanel used to be on with Mike. So they're at this party, and Jen Fred and everybody's there. So they're going to go to the ESPN party. Now, I was affiliated with ESPN at the time. So they crowd into a cab and leave me on the sidewalk. Like I'm out. Like I wasn't part of the Fox 29 family, right? They all pile in together, and they go to this party. Well, Jarek sees me. He gets out of the car. He goes, "I'll go with you."
Oh, what a guy.
So we get to the party. They can't get in. They can't get in. Somebody from ESPN recognizes me. Oh, Mikey Mess, here, come this way. We get into the side entrance into this monster party. We look outside. The Fox 29 people are still trying to get in. They can't get in. I give them a little wave.
Yeah. Maybe you shouldn't have ditched me.
Yes.
All right, that's a good.
So Charles Barkley will join us about 11 a.m. Eastern today.
Charles Barkley's
Yes,
coming on.
Charles will be on, and we'll talk a lot of Sixer issues, especially. But Embiid played last night as the Sixers win.
Yeah, how about it? Ray
And
Dunn was in attendance.
He gets a triple-double. Yeah, Ray did tweet out a photo from the arena last night where he literally was maybe on top of the scoreboard. That's how far away he was.
I said if you want to pay for better season
the-
tickets for me, I'll be happy to have better seats.
Look at all the pull you have in the broadcasting industry, and that's the seat you get?
Hey, Ray.
Come on, Ray.
Ray, one day you're going to take that picture that you took from the nosebleeds, and you're going to show it when you're sitting courtside announcing the game. When you're broadcasting the game, you can say, look how far I've
You
come.
can't even post
Fans
a
sit in the
picture like
bleeds
that.
too.
That's right. Yeah, Ray, that was pretty far, though.
You can't, post that picture, right? You're an important man now. You
Why
can't be-
wouldn't I post that picture? What am I,
Because
embarrassed to
it's-
sit where I'm sitting?
Yeah,
I paid
yes,
for the
you should.
ticket.
You're a big media star now, Ray. Come on.
I sit where I sit.
Oh,
If I got
people-
there on press row,
Wait,
I'd be up in the
wait,
auxiliary
wait.
press even higher.
This is where Ray Dunn, where his ticket is? Ray Dunn,
He's
the famous announcer?
He's a man of the people. He likes to get the feel of what it's like to be up there. Ray,
I
how
sit in the
about you? You're all right.
nosebleeds. I stay here in Philly. You know, I got to stay with the people.
You're up there where they're smoking pot, man. Come on.
And hey, those are some good people.
Ray's good. I'm with you, Ray.
All right. So, okay, let's examine this. And this is the time I need Eagle fans to start to get pumped up because they've been pretty quiet this week, right? So I need them to really get pumped up here and tell me what you really feel. Otherwise, I'm going to feel that you're scared in this game. So Orlovsky makes a comment that Jalen Hurts will never be on the same level with Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. And you added Mahomes to that.
Yeah, I was wrong in saying I thought he said Mahomes, but those three.
Okay.
He said
so
there's nothing he can do.
There's nothing he can do to get to that level of quarterback. Now, you look at it like, well, he can win, and wouldn't that put him at that level? Or you could look at it like, well, the skill set of Jalen is never going to match those guys, which I agree with.
But again, the skill set. The NFL draft is based on skill sets. How many quarterbacks do you see get taken in the top end of the first round that don't pan out? So I get it, sure. Joe Burrow has all the intangibles as far as how he throws the football and how he does this and how he does that, and he's great. Lamar Jackson, skill set. Josh Allen, skill set. What I care about is wins. And what Jalen Hurts has done since 2022, he has the second best winning percentage behind only Patrick Mahomes. He's been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. How many Super Bowls has Josh Allen been to? 0. Lamar Jackson, 0.
I'll ask you the pointed question then. He doesn't win this Super Bowl. Right now, before the Super Bowl game is even played, would you take Jalen Hurts over Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Patrick Mahomes?
No, well, Mahomes definitely not, right? You're putting Mahomes at the top.
Okay.
So if I'm building a team, they're all 3 of them, or all 4 of them are free agents.
Your choice. Would you take Hurts over any of those 3? Burrow, Allen, Lamar Jackson. Even though they haven't won, would you take him over those 3 now? It's a simple question, Bill.
It is a tough question.
It's not tough.
It is a tough question.
It's a simple question. It's not a tough question. If you say yes, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, no, you're probably correct. If we were looking at it as all things equal.
I'm probably correct.
Listen, if you're looking at all things equal, which quarterback would you take in free agency? Yeah, you're probably taking Burrow and Josh Allen and Lamar over him.
Yeah.
But that's not what Orlovsky's saying. What he's saying is there's nothing he can do to be talked about at the same level.
Let's play that out. So you're telling me if he wins this Super Bowl, that would change your opinion, and you would take Jalen Hurts over those 3.
If Jalen Hurts comes out and they win this game and he performs the way he did 2 years ago, where he throws for over 300 and has 4 total touchdowns, including an octopus, by the way, first in Super Bowl history, running in the touchdown and the 2-point conversion back-to-back, in a time where they were down 8 and he led them back to tie it up. Just throwing it out there.
That's called an octopus?
That's called an octopus. If he does that again.
Who named that an octopus?
I don't know. It was named an octopus years ago. But if he does that again, it's going to be hard to keep saying, oh, well, he's not on their level. He's not on their level. I mean, what else does the guy need to do to get on their level?
All right. 610-632-0975 is how you get into the show. Charles is coming up at 11 o'clock. We'll have Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts back-to-back starting at 11:30. And some news here. KJ Martin, one of your favorite Sixers, was just dealt to. He's going to join Tobias Harris now with the Pistons. So there you go. Another key player leaves the Sixers. The Mike Missanelli Show returns after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Looking for a different result? I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. Just 2 years removed from the heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs in Super Bowl 57, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles meet up with Kansas City again in Super Bowl 59. During his media session on Tuesday, Hurts was asked about the biggest difference in him since that time.
Thinking about all the games we've played since then, all the moments we've had, all the opportunities we've had, just being a more mature person, growing, better leader, all of these things that I've been able to push myself and push the threshold of my whole entire career.
Eagles address the media again today and tomorrow. Hurts and Sirianni coming up back-to-back at 11:30 Eastern. We should expect to see an injury report from the Eagles today. Give us some insight into Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, how Kenny Gainwell are all doing. In South Philly last night, Joel Embiid returned at a triple-double as the 76ers won 118-116 over the Mavs. Embiid will be out tonight as the 76ers have the Heat tonight. They began the day yesterday by trading Caleb Martin to those Mavericks for Quentin Grimes and the 76ers 2025 second-round pick. And today they continue dealing KJ Martin on his way to the Pistons. Flyers lost last night 3-2 to the Utah Hockey Club. This update's also brought to you by AAA Car Care. Save $90 on select sets of 4 Continental tires at AAA Car Care Centers. Offer ends February 15th. Details at AAA.com/mycar. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Not only can you listen to The Fanatic, but you can also watch on 97.5 The Fanatic's YouTube channel.
Watch the live stream of Kincade and Salciunas, weekdays from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and the Mike Missanelli Show from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Go to youtube.com/97.5 The Fanatic Philadelphia and subscribe today to be part of the action.
Celebrate your love this Valentine's with the most romantic and timeless gift of all, a piece of exquisite jewelry from Benari. Benari Jewelers at Exton and Newtown Square is your destination for beautiful and meaningful gifts for all the important milestones in your love story. Classic diamond earrings, stunning diamond bracelets, elegant diamond pendants, and sophisticated diamond eternity bands. Or explore the entire collection of famed designer David Yurman. Benari is proud to offer the largest David Yurman selection in Greater
on the Mike Missanelli Show right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. So the question is, this is just a barroom conversation. It's kind of cool. But first, to set the scene here, it's really getting busy in here now. So hopefully in the YouTube chat you can see that. I see Mike Golick over there, right?
Yeah.
Now they just announced that show is stopping.
Oh, did they? I didn't see that.
Yeah. So, but who is Gojo? The show is Gojo and Golick. Is that his son? Because he's with his son over there, Golick.
Yeah, I'm not sure who Gojo is. Let me see. I'll look it up for you.
All right. Anyway, I look to my left. There's a big sign that says the Doug Gottlieb Show. Now, this is in the middle of NCAA basketball, and he coaches Wisconsin and Green Bay, right? Or Wisconsin, Milwaukee, one of those.
Yeah. By the way, Gojo is his son.
It is his son. They call him Gojo?
I guess so.
Okay. In any event, Doug Gottlieb is doing a radio show here. It's just the middle of the basketball season. What, are you kidding me?
Dude, everybody's here, man.
Well, no, you're missing the point.
I get it. But
How could a Division I basketball coach be doing a talk show at the Super Bowl?
Maybe they have a couple days off. They have any days off?
In the middle of basketball season? What days off are we talking about?
Or maybe he's not the one hosting.
He is. I see him over there.
He's got to have a couple days off. He's not going to miss practice.
Why do you always refute me?
Well, what do you want to say?
I go over there, I see the guy, I go, he's right there. Oh, well, maybe it's somebody else hosting. I go, there's Doug Gottlieb right over there.
He's got a couple days
You
off.
always got a skeptical, like, well,
what do you?
What am I lying to you?
Wait, you think he's just missing games?
He's got to be missing practice at the very least. What's he going to do? Is he going to run back for practice? Going to fly to Green Bay?
Maybe he's got a private jet. He notices that. He notices Doug Gottlieb. I noticed Sean Merriman. Joey Porter, Greg Olson's over there.
It says the Doug Gottlieb Show, larger than frickin' life. He's got, it doesn't say the Fanatic here. We don't have that kind of promotion, right? It says the Doug Gottlieb Show. Now, he works for Fox Sports Network.
During the break, let's ask him.
You don't even know who Doug Gottlieb is, first of all.
I know who he is because Ray plays him sometimes during our News at Noon.
All right. But it's like you're always skeptical of stuff I say. Like, what is that?
Because this is your first time here. Right? Mike didn't have a career before this, did he?
All right. In any event, there's been some trades in the NBA. Kuzma goes to the Bucks for Chris Middleton. So they're trying to improve themselves. That's a good get to get Kuzma.
Yeah, and the Sixers are just salary dumping.
And Sixers got rid of K.J. Martin and Caleb Martin. They don't like the name Martin on the back. 6 letters was too much to sew on. So they got rid of both of them. All right, so we're back to this conversation. So you're telling me if he wins the Super Bowl, you would take him over Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson if he wins it. If he doesn't win it, you would have to think about it.
I'm not saying I would take him over those guys. What I'm saying is he has to be in the conversation with those guys even now. Like, you look at what Josh Allen did in the divisional round. He didn't perform at a high level. Jalen Hurts had more total yards than Josh Allen, but yet Josh Allen's discussed as, oh, what a winner. Mahomes didn't have as many total yards as Hurts did in the divisional round. Oh, Mahomes, what a winner. Hurts doesn't put up a lot of yards, and it's, can the Eagles keep winning this way? You can't talk about Hurts on the same level that you talk about these guys. It's like, what else does the guy need to do? I'm not saying I would pick him over Burrow or Lamar or Josh Allen. I'm saying he deserves to be in the conversation.
Well,
he deserves to be in that conversation.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, even if you put him in the conversation, that's not what Orlovsky said. Orlovsky said he would never be able to match those guys. And so I asked you a simple question. Would you take him over any of those guys? And you're hedging your bets.
No, that's not what he said. This is exactly what Orlovsky said.
You're a hedger.
Quote, unquote. I don't think there's anything Jalen can do to be in the conversation with Burrow, Lamar, and Josh Allen as players. That's what Orlovsky said, that he can't do anything to be in the conversation.
I actually agree with him.
See, he's got to be in the conversation.
I agree with him because you're adding skill set to the whole thing. You can't put him into that. He would be a 1A or Tier 2 behind the 4 great quarterbacks that are in the league right now. Well, you think that's not fair? That's okay. It's not. I'm not saying he's trash. He would be in a level below those guys.
So I think Tier 1, it's Mahomes in a tier all by himself. No one else is on his level.
All right. Tier 2 would be Allen, Burrow, and Lamar Jackson.
And Jalen Hurts. I think you have to put Jalen Hurts at that level now. I think he has to be there now.
Okay. I can't disagree with you more.
Dude, all right, what else does the guy need to do? What else does he need to do?
Dude, a lot of it is I go by feel, okay? And by going by feel, he's a good quarterback. He's not them. And that doesn't mean you can't win with him. And that doesn't mean I want to replace him. But let's go with the reality of it here. All right. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with our first calls. We're going to go to our text board. All kinds of stuff happened today. All kinds of excitement going by. Yeah, Sean Merriman just walked by.
The guy's still built, man.
Yeah, he is. Those guys, it's funny. Those ex-football players continue to work out.
Yes, they do. I mean, look at me. You know what I mean? That's
He's like Seth Joyner. I see Seth. He's like still a maniac.
I think Jen just threw up in her mouth when I said that.
Yeah, well,
Jen's here.
I didn't hear it.
But listen,
like
Mike,
a lot of stuff you say.
People on YouTube are saying, "Oh, I guess they're not taking calls today because
we are.
No, we
are.
We
are taking calls.
So we want to hear from you.
Yes, we want to hear from you because I think you've been a little quiet, frankly. So, A, this is a historic day to get on the air as we're here at Radio Row for the next couple of days, and B, I think you're a little afraid of this game, maybe.
Well, I want to hear what people think about the game, but now I really want people to weigh in on this conversation we're having.
Okay.
Should Jalen Hurts be in the conversation?
I'm going to tell you that this will come out 8 calls to 2. If you take a sample of 10 calls, it will come out 8 that you're out of your mind. All right? We'll take a bet. For a muffaletta.
In the conversation. That is what he said. He shouldn't be in the conversation. I think he should be.
For a muffaletta at Central Grocery.
How about a beignet?
Right?
How about a beignet?
No. It's got to be a muffaletta. A muffaletta is like a big sandwich, rigged round sandwich, like Italian meats. And
here in New Orleans?
Olive tapenade.
Wait, that's here?
What is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? You're a grown man. Never heard of a muffaletta in New Orleans?
No.
Or a po' boy?
I know what a po' boy is.
Yeah, because they had them last night. The muffaletta is the quintessential sandwich down here.
The classic New Orleans muffaletta sandwich.
What do I deal with?
On Sicilian sesame bread.
Ray, help me out. You know what a muffaletta is, right?
Time to take a break.
Ray doesn't know either. Ray doesn't know either.
610-632-0975. That's how you get into the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Yesterday we got in and we met the crew. We had the famous John Kincade with Andrew Salciunas and Mike Vito and Jen Scordo back with us.
Yes.
How about that? Jen's hanging out with us doing engineering work.
Doing a
Used
great
to be
job,
one of my
too.
partners way back in the day.
Did you know about Philly feud, Jen? Did you know about that?
I had heard, yes. I had heard the rumors.
Yeah, I was getting killed all day yesterday for that.
Yeah, she's aware of things.
She's aware.
Yeah.
Unlike Bill? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Bill lives in a bubble. I don't know what it is. It's like a ceramic bubble too. Like nothing gets through it all.
So hopefully Jen and I together is going to be a good omen for the Eagles because, Jen, I don't know if you remember, the first time her and I ever worked together,
Yes.
the Philadelphia Eagles signed Saquon Barkley.
Oh, is that right?
That news broke on the air with me and Jen.
It was
so
a fun day.
Wow.
That was a very fun day. But as excited as we were, we never could have imagined it'd be this damn good.
All right, Ray, we have some feedback on the text board. I know we have to have some feedback on the text board with Hurts and where he stands right now. I don't think what Orlovsky said was outlandish at all. Bill's a little offended by it, that he didn't put him in the conversation. I think he's got a long way to go to be put in the conversation with those guys, even though those guys haven't won. A great quarterback sometimes is not defined by winning. You just know that he's great. Like Charles was a great player. He didn't win. He's in the Hall of Fame. There are a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that never won. Dan Marino never won. I mean, you can't look at it like that all the time.
I understand that. But you can look at it from Hurts's perspective that he does win. So you're looking at it from the opposite, saying, well, you can't look at it.
No, I'm not.
if you
I appreciate
don't
that
win.
he wins, but I appreciate the fact that some other quarterbacks are able to win without mind-blowing talent. And to me, he's got talent. It's not mind-blowing like Burrow or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Certainly not like Patrick Mahomes. I don't think that's a rip.
Yeah, but he does think now. Lamar,
He's a top 8 quarterback. He's a top 7 maybe. He like that echelon is a different echelon.
all right, so if you're putting Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, and Burrow above him, who else you putting above him? Do you put him in the top 5 at least?
He might be in the top 5.
I think at this point, and we did this before the season. I mean,
It might be in the top 5.
I think he has to be, but I think he's got to
You're,
be in
you're
this
the guy.
conversation.
You're the ones that love the love.
I wouldn't put Jordan Love above
All
him.
right, but you guys love him.
And I wasn't ready to anoint Jordan Love after one good
Okay,
season.
so
He's a good quarterback.
Like if you put Hurts 5, that's fine. That's still a tier below those 4, right?
I still think Hurts has to be up there, man. I'm just saying.
It
comes down to what he's done in big
games.
games.
The telltale sign for you is when I ask you, would you take him over XXX XYZ A? Yeah, you say, and you hesitate.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phones and actually text board. What do we have on this, Ray?
All right, we got people on both sides here. We'll start with the side against Bill. We got an unnamed texter from Delaware. Very simply put, easy answer, no, with regards to Jalen Hurts being put in the conversation with those 3 guys.
I need more than that.
You need more than that?
I need to know why. Why are we not putting him there? What is it that would prevent you from
I
putting
think
him
people
there?
naturally think it's like when you think about is that guy a Hall of Famer, and your instincts go, nah, he's probably a little short of that. I think that people when they evaluate Harris go, compared to those guys, a little short, but that doesn't mean that he's not good. He's a good player.
I'm trying to look at. We're talking about him as a Hall of Famer. I mean, is it out of the stretch of possibility that when Jalen Hurts finishes his career that he could be a Hall of Fame quarterback? I mean, if he continues this level of success that he's done in his first 4 years as a starter.
That is an interesting point, but it has nothing to do with what we're talking about now.
No, you just said
right now he's not a Hall of Famer.
But you just said, you get that. It's a feeling. You look at a guy and say, he's a Hall of
right
Famer.
now, it's a feeling. Like if he goes and gets an accomplishment like those guys, it's more than a feeling. More than a feeling. Who did that song? Boston.
I knew that.
Nice work by you.
I
All
knew
right,
that.
where else we got on the text board?
We got texter Joe from Boston saying that you should look at Terry Bradshaw. Not the greatest skill set either, but has 4 Super Bowls and is a Hall of Famer. Hurts is top 8 according to quarterback rating.
Terry Bradshaw threw the ball 100 times better than Hurts did, though.
I don't know. Did you ever look at Bradshaw's stats?
Bradshaw look. Listen, dude, you never saw him.
I did not.
He threw it through a car wash. The guy. Now, his numbers don't put him in the Hall of Fame, and the only reason he got there is because they won 4 Super Bowls, and you can't ignore the quarterback. But that dude had a skill set, man.
So he threw, 212 touchdowns, how many interceptions?
Almost the same.
210 interceptions. I mean,
almost the same. But, like, you didn't understand his skill set because you never saw him.
That's like Orlovsky average right there.
He had a better arm than a lot of players that have played this game. All right, one more?
Sure, why not? We'll keep going there. Jalen can for sure cement himself as a top 10, potentially second quarterback picked out of NFC quarterbacks behind Daniels, but still behind the big 4 of the AFC. He'd move ahead of Herbert, Love, Goff, Stafford, etc. If he loses, he might be considered a quarterback in the 10 to 15 range. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls, and he was never considered a top 5 quarterback when he played. He was always behind his brother, Breeze, Brady.
That's a great text. That's a great text.
It's a terrible text. It's a terrible text.
He's absolutely right about that. Eli Manning never got the respect.
Okay, there's 2 problems with the text, okay? Number one, you can't put Jaden Daniels above Jalen Hurts yet. He did it 1 season. We've seen what happens in your sophomore campaign.
I agree with that.
All right, so Jaden Daniels can't be above him. The difference between Eli Manning and Jalen Hurts is even though Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowl rings and had a successful career, Eli Manning did not impact a game the way Jalen Hurts can impact a game. He just didn't. He didn't wow you with his arm. He didn't wow you with his legs. Jalen Hurts has an ability to not only impact a game with his arm, not so much this year, but what he does with his legs and what he does in the rushing attack that helps open up holes for Saquon, that helps that rushing attack be as successful as it is. Eli Manning never did that. There's a reason why Saquon Barkley didn't have that level of success with Eli.
Here's what I'll disagree with the texter. If he loses, he's not dropping that 10 to 15. If he loses the Super Bowl, he got him to the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. That's achievement. You don't drop 10 places because they lost the game in the Super Bowl. All right, 610-632-0975. Charles Barkley is coming up at 11 o'clock. We'll get Chuck's spin on the Super Bowl and what the Sixers are right now and the state of the NBA with this trade and craziness that's going on. Mike Missanelli Show continues right here live from Radio Row in New Orleans, and we are being brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Visit TrueMark.com or one of the 24 local branches to learn more.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Looking for a different result? I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by CSB Media Arts Center in Cherry Hill. Discover your future at the CSB Media Arts Center in Cherry Hill. Skill-based training in broadcast media, filmmaking, and more. In just a few months, go to visit GoCSB.com for a tour. That's GoCSB.com. Just 2 years removed from the heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs in Super Bowl 57, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles meet up with Kansas City again in Super Bowl 59. During his media session on Tuesday, Hurts was asked about the difference in him since that time.
Thinking about all the games we've played since then, all the moments we've had, all the opportunities we've had, just being a more mature person, growing, better leader, all of these things that I've been able to push myself and push the threshold of my whole entire career.
Eagles address the media again today and tomorrow. Expect Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni back-to-back starting at 11:30 Eastern. We also should expect to see an injury report from the Eagles today, which could give insight into how Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, and Kenny Gainwell are doing. In South Philly last night, Joel Embiid returned, had a triple-double as the 76ers won 118-116 over the Mavs. He will be out tonight as the Sixers host the Heat. You can hear that game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Sixers began the day yesterday by trading Caleb Martin to the Mavericks for Quentin Grimes and the 76ers 2025 second-round pick. They continued dealing today. KJ Martin on the move to the Pistons, according to Keith Pompey. Flyers lost last night 3-2 to the Utah Hockey Club. This update is also brought to you by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Get matched your perfect bed now and sleep at night. Plus, if you see a lower price, they'll match it. Restrictions apply. I'm Ray Dunn for 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's time for Birds Playoff.
back into the Mike Missanelli Show, broadcasting live from Radio Row down here in New Orleans. This is pretty cool. It's like your head's on a swivel seeing people walk by. Malik Neighbors, the sensational rookie wide receiver, just walked by. I couldn't even believe that was him. He don't even look like he's a big dude, Mike. Didn't even look like he was a big guy.
A little wide receiver.
Yeah, but that kid was a stud this year.
A sleek wide receiver. You got Greg Olson hanging around. We're going to try to get him on.
Yeah, Greg Olson's over there doing something. And he's not doing the broadcast, unfortunately, because they decided to demote him for Brady. But
yeah, I think Brady's really doing a good job lately.
I thought Brady did well NFC Championship, and I loved what Brady had to say about this Eagles team. You got all these quarterbacks coming out, backups mostly, Orlovsky, Chris Sims. Who else has been ridiculing them that's been backup quarterbacks? And then Brady comes out and says, look, this team's unstoppable. They're consistent everywhere, and they're unstoppable with that rhythmic, it's a tongue twister, passing offense.
All right, so one of the topics we're going to talk about a little later in this program, because I was reading a story about how the young fans these days are spoiled because the young fans are seeing a lot of successes.
They are.
Football-wise now.
Yeah.
Basketball-wise, not so much, even though the excitement level has been there. They just haven't followed through. I mean, the Sixers have really teased their fans. And baseball, there's been, obviously accomplishment, except for a couple disappointments. But the young fans now are used to winning, as opposed to the different eras. Like for you and I, different eras of winning. My experience was different than mine. I think you experienced maybe a little more winning. Let's go through my experience, and then we'll get to yours.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to our phones and Charles and everybody in the 11 o'clock hour. So my experience starts in the 70s with the Phillies regenerating, while the Flyers winning cups, but the Phillies also regenerating contending teams. Disappointment, but contending teams.
And then they break through in 8.
Right. They lose 3 times. The Dodgers, Cincinnati Reds, and then they didn't get it to get there, and then finally they break through in 1980. And then the Sixers. We got them ready already? Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me just say that you're listening to. Hold on a second.
I don't have it in front of me. I think I go from memory. You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show.
I got it right here.
WPEN, WPEN.
I got it right here. There you go. All right. No, I don't have it. Yeah.
There it is.
WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibility. So it is 11 o'clock in the Delaware Valley, and a man joining us on the Comcast Business Hotline right now. He's got a lot of stuff to talk about, but I know he's very invested in the Super Bowl. He, of course, is the great Charles Barkley. Chuck, what's up today?
What's up, brother? Hey, I cannot wait till Sunday. We putting an end to this reign of terror. I got all my money bet on the Birds, brother. We putting an end to this Kansas City Chiefs thing, brother. I cannot.
Oh, you're feeling confident about this, huh?
Well, we got the best team. When you have the best team, you should always feel confident. Now, they probably got the best player, but we got the best team, and we're going to win the Super Bowl, brother. We're going to win.
I like it. I like your confidence, and I especially like the money you put behind that confidence. Because you don't bet small. You don't bet $3 on the Super Bowl, brother. So you got a lot invested in this.
Brother, if you bet small, you win small. I want to win big. I'm going to bet big. Come on, man. Listen, small money don't help me.
No, I guess it doesn't help you. That's certainly for sure. All right, so why do you think the Eagles win this game? You know, you're up against a team that knows how to win. You're up against a magic man quarterback. Well, how did the Eagles win this game?
Well, they got the best team. I mean, it sounds silly, but the Eagles have been the best football team in the world, really, for the last 2 years, basically. You know, they had some internal stuff going on, but they clearly got that solved. Then they brought in my cousin. He's not even my cousin, but I'm claiming him because he's a Barkley. Like, I never met Saquon, but I cannot wait to meet him because he's been amazing.
How do you know he's not your cousin? Well, how do you know?
I don't know that.
You got to go on Ancestry, get that DNA thing going.
Hey, listen, just because there's a famous black person, I know everybody's my cousin has asked me for money. So he's one of the few people who haven't asked me for money. So listen,
Yeah, he
every
doesn't
black
need you.
person. Hey, no, seriously, everybody, Mike, every black person claims me and asks me for money all the time. So he's one of the few people in the world who haven't asked me for money. So I'm assuming he's not my cousin, but I'm claiming him this week, and I've been claiming him all year.
Well, listen, man, you're built kind of the same, right? You got that big heft going on. He's like that.
Hey,
I mean,
man.
he might have a DNA. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look that up
You know
for
what? You know why I love Saquon, Mike, to be honest with you?
What's that?
Obviously, you know I live in Philadelphia all summer, and I play golf every day. I play golf every day during the summer. I'm not even joking. 30 to 40 times last summer, when I got to a golf course, the caddy would say, "Man, Saquon Barkley was just here like a day ago." Apparently, this guy played much golf as I do. I'm like, Mike, I'm not even joking. I'm telling you, this is a true story. I went to 30 or 40 different golf courses last summer. And every golf course I went to, they said, "Man, Saquon Barkley was out here yesterday or the day before." It was pretty awesome. I can't wait to play golf with him, man. Apparently, he's got the golf bug like I do.
Yeah, he does. I've heard the same thing about him. He plays all the courses in the Philadelphia area, and he's welcome to play. It's nice to show. Yeah, like every Barkley that shows up can get on a course. You know, they just open the course to you guys, you Barkleys.
Well, I can't listen, man. I'm so pumped. I was so disappointed for those guys a couple years ago, but man, they've been the best team in football all year. Vic Fangio coming in to save the defense. They playing great. But the addition of Saquon and Jalen has been amazing. You know, I haven't met Coach Sirianni. I'm looking forward to that. But man, they're gonna bring a Super Bowl. They're gonna bring a Super Bowl to Philly. I cannot wait.
All right, Charles, we got to talk to you about this craziness going on. First of all, Joel Embiid played last night and had a triple-double, and they win. Now, I've kind of written this team off. I can't imagine that they could do anything with this temporary thing where they throw guys in. They've only played 10 games, all 3 of them. But what did you think last night of the Sixers and maybe a resurgence? Do they have any chance once they get in the playoffs, if they do?
You know, Mike, that's a great question. Do they have a chance? 100% they have a chance. Do I have faith in them? 100% I do not have faith in them. I just, you know, the old saying, I can only go by what I know. And I don't trust their physical abilities. I mean, obviously Joel is a great player, and Paul and Max, all those guys are great. But we got to judge them by their past. And the past said they can't stay healthy. I mean, I feel bad saying that because, you know, I'm a diehard Sixer fan. I want the Sixers to win the championship. But you have to go by the track record. And the track record says these dudes can't stay healthy. So I know last night it's great to see Joel back because I don't want to see anybody hurt. But if you're asking me to forecast my job as a television guy, not a Sixer fan, I do not have faith in the Sixers.
All right, let's get to because I think this is a foregone conclusion. I think we have seen the best of Joel Embiid, that when you get to this point of your career when your knees swell up all the time, you're not going to get any better. And it's the same with Paul George. These guys don't get healthier, and therefore they don't get better. So have we seen the best of the Embiid era? And if we have, how much of a disappointment is this?
You know, that's a great question also. I hope he can get healthy. I hope he can get healthy because, let's be honest, you know, other than Wilt Chamberlain, if he was healthy, he would have been probably the second greatest Philadelphia 76ers ever. If he could have stayed healthy, because he probably would have won at least two MVPs. If he had been able to stay healthy, other than Wilt Chamberlain, that's no disrespect to Doc or Moses, because if he's healthy, he's one of the greatest centers ever. But he's not ever healthy. We have to look at that. Plain and simple.
Well, you know how it is. Listen, you know the wear and tear on an NBA player. You got to that point where you go, listen, it's the best of me.
Yeah, but yeah. No, hold on, Mike. That should not happen to your late 30s. You should be bulletproof. You should be bullet. I've always said this: from 20 in my day, from 25 when you get all your crap together physically and mentally, from 25 to 32, you should be bulletproof. Now I say you should be from 20 to 32, 33. You should be bulletproof. You should never get hurt or anything like that. It's like it's like a normal person in life. You ask a normal person sitting at home, they'd be like, "Oh man, when I was 25, I could do anything." Of course you could, and it should be the same way for an NBA player. From 20,
so are we saying he didn't work hard enough to keep that kind of physicality?
I can't. I'm not around. It's kind of like the Luka Doncic thing. There's something that the Mavs saw. Like, we can't give you 5 years, $350 million. You know, like we see Luka, who's a great player. He's a great player. But that's us as fans and television people. We're not around him every single day. There's something in Dallas that those guys, because they have to make a decision this summer to give him 5 years, $350 million. There's something that they saw. Only somebody in the Sixers organization know what's going on with Joel's work ethic behind the scenes.
But here's the thing, Charles. They gave him the extension. And they gave him the extension with this condition going on. And they said, well, the doctor said we can manage it. They haven't been able to manage it. The guy looks like he needs a knee replacement. You can't play NBA basketball with a knee replacement.
Well, that's the difference. That's the difference in the organizations. The Sixers, they made a decision that's gonna looks like it's not gonna be a good decision. The Dallas Mavericks made a decision. That's the job, Mike. That's the job that you get paid. Like, okay, but the Mavs, like I say, it might come back to bite them, but they had to make a decision, and they made a decision. Like, I can't give this guy all this money because he doesn't work out. He's out of shape. And once I give him this money, I'm married to him for life. That's the decision that Dallas Mavericks made. And they're either going to get hired or fired by that decision. The Sixers made the decision, and Joel does not get healthy and he's not able to play for the next X amount of years. That decision is going to ruin the franchise, plain and simple.
We're talking to the great Charles Barkley. Charles, so on that note, Daryl Morey was brought here to build this team into a contender. Is it fair to say that he's failed so far?
Yes. The Sixers are not close to winning a championship. And Mike, they're not close to winning a championship. But the thing is, if Joel is not able, because like I say, he hasn't even started that new extension yet. That's the thing that could ruin the Sixers franchise for the next decade. That decision could ruin their franchise for the next decade, because if he's not healthy and able to play, his extension, I think his extension it kicks in next year or 2 years down the line.
Yeah, I think it kicks in 2 years down the line. So it's like 5 years here they're committed to him.
If he's not able to play and he's making $60, $70 million, that decision is going to ruin their franchise for the next decade.
All right, let's just touch on a couple things. You make news all the time, like every day you make news. So the latest news is you're not listening to any overtures from NBC or Amazon for their NBA pictures. You're out with those guys. You stay loyal to your people, so you're going to stay loyal to TNT and ESPN, right?
Yeah, so obviously I put in my contract if they lost NBA, I could be a free agent. So I met with Amazon and NBC, and NBC made me a great offer. It just was too much work. Amazon, I just said, hey, you know what? I had met with them, my agent had met with them. I said, you know what? I appreciate it, and it was really cool at Amazon and NBC, and I want to thank those guys. But so we were traded to ESPN, and now my decision is going to come down to how much work I'm going to do. I love ESPN. Those guys are awesome. but I ain't going to be working all the damn time, Mike, okay? Let's get that out the way.
Oh, you told me you're going to retire at age 60. You're working more than that.
Well, that's what's interesting about the whole thing. You know, I was going to retire at 60, and TNT asked me to stay for 2 more years till they got the contract done. And I said, okay, that's fair, because TNT's been great to me. I didn't think those idiots were going to lose the NBA. My original plan was to retire at 62, which is this year, and I was going to pass the baton to, Vince Carter or Jamal Crawford. I had no idea the idiots I worked for were going to lose the NBA.
Yeah.
And
you also, go ahead. I'm sorry.
My concern was just the people I work with. So TNT said, "What I said, what are y'all gonna do?" And so now I'm just trying to. They lost the NBA, and then I was just concerned about the people I work with. And so apparently they traded our show to ESPN, which is a great company. But like I say, I'm not gonna go. I work 1 day a week, Mike. I like working 1 day a week. I've worked 1 day a week for the last 25 years. I'm not going to work 3 or 4 days a week. That's just stupid. Nobody works more when they get older. You work less when you get older. I'm not even that much of a fool. I'm going to work. I said, wait a minute. Okay, I love ESPN, but I'm not going to be working 3 or 4 days a week. That's not going to happen.
No, man. I hear you. I work 5 days a week, do a radio show 4 hours a day. It's wearing me out.
Mike, I've never worked 5 days a week in my entire life.
Not even as a player.
Not even as a player. Even in the NBA, you only play 3 or 4 games a week. Come on, man. I've never had a real job in my life. I'm not going to do it at 60.
Hey, good for you. Good for you, brother. All right, last thing before I get your prediction for the Super Bowl. You slammed San Francisco. You're not going to go to the NBA All-Star game. You said San Francisco is a rat-infested city. You stand by that?
100%. I'm going because I got.
You are going.
I've got to go because it's on the payroll. I've already spent the money. I've already spent the money. I got to go. But let me tell you something. I like San Francisco, but they got to do a better job of policing that city, man. It was last time I was there. It wasn't safe to walk around. There was homeless encampments all through the city. They got to do better, man. We got to do better as a country, as people. We got to do better. But I got to go. But to get to your prediction on the Super Bowl,
yes.
What is it? Not only are the Eagles going to win, it's going to be a blowout.
Ooh,
I'm right there with you, Charles.
What's the score?
34-17.
34-17. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's have a bet. Give me the Chiefs in 10, since you think they're going to cover that.
Bet.
All right. So you got to take me to Marion.
I'm not even a member at Marion.
Well, you can get on anytime you want. Damn it! Come on.
I tell you what. Between Salcon Valley, my favorite course, Marion or Runmick, I'll kiss somebody's ass enough to get us on one of those 3 courses. Salcon's my favorite. Hey,
I played Salcon. I played Wayhill. I love Wayhill.
I think Wayhill is amazing. But I tell you what, Philadelphia Cricket, I'll kiss enough ass between Marion, Cricket, Salcon Valley. I will get us around on one of those courses this summer. Between those 3, I'll kiss enough ass. Right. I'm kissing ass for you, Mike Missanelli.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the ass kissing.
You got the Eagles. You got the Chiefs.
I got the wait. You said 34-17, so give me 13.
No,
keep it at 10. Give me 13.
Keep it at 10.
Give me 13.
See, there you go, being greedy again.
No, you said blowout, 34-17. Give me 13. Come on.
No, I'm giving you 10. Hey, let me tell you something. Hey, 10 is if it's 10, you have to take me to the restaurant of my choice in Philly too.
Okay.
How about that?
Oh, you got that.
10 is not a push. 10 is not a push. 10 is a win for me.
Oh man, look at you! You said you're saying you're going to blow them out by 15, and you're not. You're chosen me for 10. All right, we'll
Hey,
take 10.
10's a win for me, okay? 10's a win
All
for
right.
me.
All right, you got it. Chuck, thank you, man. We appreciate it.
All right, brother. Y'all be
Yep.
safe. Go Birds.
All right, there he is, Charles Barkley with the Go Birds. 34-17 is his prediction.
He's right there with me, man. I've been saying it. I think the Eagles are going to blow them
Why
out.
did I settle for 10?
Well, look, worst case
Why did I say
scenario, you
10?
go to dinner with Charles.
Can I count?
Now-
He's saying they're going to win by 17 points.
See, I don't know if I want them to lose by or win by less than 10 so that I can try to weasel my way onto that golfing with you and Charles.
610-632-0975. Back to the text, back to the call. Sirianni and Hurts coming up in this hour. We're live from Radio Row in New Orleans. Back after this.
The Birds Insider pregame show. Bigger and better for the big game in the Big Easy. Get the real and inside story on
All right, it's 11:20. Mike Missanelli Show, live on Radio Row. Prior to the Super Bowl, we'll be here for 3 particular days: Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll have all kinds of guests lined up. This is our first day here. We're trying to give you the experience of this Radio Row conglomeration here. It's fantastic, really. It goes on for acres here.
Insane.
I'm not David Akers, but it goes on for a long time, and there's a lot of people running through here. Every little sports station, every big sports station, every national sports station is here broadcasting. Jaden Daniels is over there with Gojo. I see. How about that?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels. See, they got a big billboard.
Oh, there it is. It's blocked from the light.
They have a big billboard up there. Like, do we have a billboard? I'm trying to figure out. Vito, do we have a billboard? No, Mike Missanelli Show, no billboard. Special guest to.
No, but it is cool to see all these different people here, and I just got to update you on something.
Yeah.
So we've been debating since the start of the show about if Jalen Hurts should be in the conversation with Burrow, Allen, and Lamar.
Yeah.
Well, they put a YouTube poll up for us.
Mm-hmm.
70% say yes, he should be in the conversation.
See, you make it
70%.
You veil it. Now it's like in the conversation. Well, you can throw anybody in the conversation.
Well, no, that's what Orlovsky said. He said he will never be in that conversation.
He's not in the conversation. Okay, so 70% of the people, I get why they're saying that, because it's their quarterback, and he's about to play in the Super Bowl. But come on, let's be real about this whole thing. He's not in the conversation with those guys yet.
See, look, all summer long.
If he wins the Super Bowl Sunday, and we ask that question next week, maybe he's definitely in the conversation.
Did you just
right
drop
at this moment?
Did you just drop a Sunday?
Sunday, yeah.
Well, Sunday.
Look,
I keep going back to all summer long. I harped on this when he had a down year last year. There was a lot of reasons for it, and it wasn't even as bad as I think some people made it out to be. Turnovers were an issue. And I kept going back to, but look what he did on the biggest stage. Look what he did in Super Bowl 57.
I got you, man.
And then he does it again this year in the NFC Championship. Like, what else do you want from the guy?
I got you. Now,
I don't think you do, guys.
Let's go to Pat. Let's go to Pat and Horsham. Pat, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Pat?
Hey, Mike.
Yes, Pat, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike. So you look at Joe Burrow's record. He's 8 games away from being a 50-50, have a 50-50 percentage record, win-loss. Right? So I think Jalen's better than him.
You take Jalen over Joe Burrow?
Absolutely.
You would?
Would you? I would take Jalen over. Well, maybe not Burrow, but definitely over Lamar. Absolutely.
You would take him over Lamar? Would you take him over Josh Allen?
I wouldn't say that. I say he's fifth.
Okay, why would you take him over Lamar?
Dak, too. Better than Dak.
Well, Dak. Of course he's better than Dak. He's not even in the conversation.
You look at Dak's record. You look at Dak's record.
I don't even waste my time talking about Dak. Let's focus on Lamar, Pat. You think he's better than Lamar Jackson? You would take him over Lamar Jackson?
I would take him over Lamar. He's gonna win this Super Bowl. Lamar's gonna still be.
Listen, I hope he does. I'm talking about
Lamar's
right now as we
to
sit here on a
Super Bowl.
Wednesday. We sit here on a Wednesday. You're taking him over Lamar. I just want to get you on the record, Pat.
I'm definitely taking him over Lamar.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He's number 5.
There you go.
He's number 5.
All right, there you go.
like it, Pat.
There you go,
above
Pat.
Burrow after this game too, Mike.
All right, there you go. See. Here's the thing. Here's what Pat did. Is this dropping off here? There we go. Here's what he did. He started bragging about he's better than Burrow, and he goes, "Well, Burrow's 50% record," well, maybe not Burrow, he says. So listen, I know where it comes from. He's your quarterback. He's my quarterback.
He's a successful quarterback.
He's a successful quarterback. He's not in that realm yet. If he wins the Super Bowl, and we talk about this next week, maybe I put him in the realm. He's not in the realm.
All right, I hope we're debating this next
All right,
week.
let's take a break. 610-622-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Looking for a different result? I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Corona. Join 97.5 The Fanatic this Sunday at Patty Wax on South Street starting at 2 p.m. for the big game pregame show and watch party with Andrew and Connor. Enjoy $5 Coronas, $5 Modelo drafts, and exclusive prizes. Don't miss out. Details at 975thefanatic.com. Please drink responsibly. 2 years removed from the heartbreaking loss of the Chiefs in Super Bowl 57, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles meet up with Kansas City again in Super Bowl 59. During his media session on Tuesday, Hurts was asked about the difference in him since that time.
Thinking about all the games we've played since then, all the moments we've had, all the opportunities we've had, just being a more mature person, growing, better leader, all of these things that I've been able to push myself and push the threshold of my whole entire career.
Eagles address the media again today. Coming up in the next segment, Nick Sirianni will be addressing the media. Looking at other Eagles news, we might get an injury report today from the Birds, which will give us insight to Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, Kenny Gainwell, and how they're doing. In South Philly last night, Joel Embiid returned, had a triple-double. The 76ers won 118-116 over the Mavs. He will be out tonight as the Sixers play the Heat. Catch the game right here on The Fanatic. Elsewhere in Sixers land, that began yesterday by trading away Caleb Martin to the Mavericks for Quentin Grimes and a 2025 second-round pick. KJ Martin also reportedly on the move, being sent to Detroit. We'll keep you updated. Anything going on with Sixers? Flyers lost 3-2 last night in Utah. This update's also brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. This tax season is phone-free season with Straight Talk. Get real unlimited data on reliable 5G network. Straight Talk available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
4 days until Philadelphia and Kansas City play the big game in the Big Easy. We're talking about it with you all day, every day. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. Mike Missanelli.
All right, it's 11:33, the Mike Missanelli Show, and the head coach for his media briefing today, Nick Sirianni. Here he is.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. Federico Olvera from Mexico. Coach, who has been your mentor in your career, and what would be the key in order to stop this Pat Mahomes the next Sunday?
Yeah, a lot of mentors that I've had. Starting with my dad, who was one of my coaches, my brothers. My mom wasn't one of my coaches, but definitely one of my mentors. And then, Larry Karras, Frank Reich, big mentors for me as far as the coaching profession goes.
Right side standing up on the outside.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't answer your second part. We'll have to stop Patrick Mahomes. We'll have to be on our game. We'll have to tackle well. We'll have to get off blocks well. We'll have to rush well. Have to be on the same page. He obviously presents a lot of challenges. He's a phenomenal football player and presents a lot of challenges. So we'll have to be at the top of our game.
Right side, outside. Ernesto Del Valle from Fox Sports Mexico. The Eagles have a lot of fans in Mexico, and they support a lot you, support Shocon Barkley, Hurts, all the players. Can you give a message for all the people in Mexico that really support you and they're done of the Chiefs that they're going to win again?
Well, thank you for all the support there. That means a lot to us. I know when I was on in media night, somebody gave me, I think from Mexico, gave me a bunch of letters. I haven't looked through them all yet, but we appreciate the support, and thank you to Mexico.
We're going to go left side here, outside. Tim?
Hey, Tim.
And going back to the idea that a lot of players have used the Super Bowl loss as motivation, what's your messaging been this week to, so players can use it, but also are staying within themselves and aren't chasing the past?
Yeah, that obviously that makes for a good story. All that, but that's a different team, different time. I think one thing we talk a lot about is embracing adversity and how adversity shapes you into the person that you are. So all our setbacks, including the 2022 end of the season, there we use to help shape us who we are. It's about embracing adversity and growing from all your, not only the good things that happen, but then also the bad things that happen. Because again, like I said, that just shapes the person, the player, the coach you are.
Right side of the aisle here, second row.
Nick, you started off your head coaching career calling plays in 2021. You haven't since then. What about being a head coach is important outside of calling plays, which has allowed you to have success going to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, being able to oversee the operation and put an emphasis on building a culture?
Yeah, there's a lot obviously to do during a game as far as managing a football game, and all the things that go into that, with decisions that go into that, and 2-minute football, 4-minute football, 4th down decisions, everything that it goes there, and so on game day, that's what I'm focused on. As far as during the week and things like that, still go to a lot of different meetings and talk through a lot of the game planning with the offense. But as far as sorry, a little distracted back here. But as far as it's about setting the culture. It's about being able to go to different things, being able to, if a player needs you, to be able to step out of a meeting to be able to meet with that player. There are a lot of different things that go into it. Calling plays is one portion of it that some coaches do and some coaches don't. So that's just the mode that I have.
Hi, Coach. Will you tell me a little bit about the importance of reacquiring C.J. Gardner-Johnson as part of your secondary, especially in light of his 6 interceptions this season?
Yeah, obviously he brings great, the play on the field speaks for itself. He does a phenomenal job I think he's one of our great tacklers that we have. We got a lot of good tacklers, and he does a great job of setting the tone with how he tackles. Obviously, he gets the ball away he has a special ability to take the football away. You know, I think about the Dallas game, the second time we played Dallas at home this year, and the interception that he makes to put us up 7-0 early on in the game. So he has a special ability there. But what I love about him is his energy, his love for football, his love for his teammates. He's got unlimited amount of energy, and that's contagious. You know, you get around him and you can't have a bad day. He's going to make sure that you're up and ready to go for practice. You know, through the different ways that he does it. So love having him back on this football team. He's been a major part of our success and why we're here right now.
Front row right, the green shirt. Hey, Coach, you've had the privilege of working with a lot of great athletes over your career. You mentioned yesterday being emotional on the sidelines, excited a lot, and it reminds me a lot of someone you had the pleasure of working with, Phillip Rivers. Can you talk a lot about maybe the bond you've had with him, your evolution as a coach alongside him, both with Indianapolis and the Chargers, and just overall what he's meant to you as a person on and off the field? Yeah,
he obviously I was with him at 2 stints for 5 years with the Chargers and then 1 year with the Colts. So I've been I was with Phillip for 6 years. Man, did he make me a better coach. Why do I say that? When I was his position coach, I had to dig and claw and scratch just to find one nugget to give him a week that he hadn't seen, right? Or that, because he has seen everything, he's been through everything, and so it just made you just make sure you had to be on everything because he had seen it already, and then what nugget could you get him to help him during the week there, and so it really made me even better of a coach just because of the detail that I had to have coaching him. His passion for the game of football and his teammates, same thing. Again, was incredible. He was an incredible player. Still get a chance to talk to him a couple times every other month or so, and he meant a lot to me as a coach. The good player, I think Vic said it the other day. I don't know how exactly he said it, but good players keep you employed in this league. The secret to being a good coach is having good players. So I was really grateful for the time. I've been very fortunate to be around very good quarterbacks. Jalen, Phillip, Andrew Luck, Matt Castle was a great experience I had with him. Jacoby Brissett, same thing. So. But have an opportunity to been around a lot of good quarterbacks and learn how they think and everything like that. So he was awesome and meant a lot to me as I got to coach him.
All right, left side here, third row. How you doing, Coach?
Hi.
Dr. Bruce Grosinger, Eagles season ticket holder, 40 years. I was sports doc.
There you go.
Got to marvel at your medical staff. I'm talking about Brandon Graham. The fact that he tore his triceps, had surgery, and he's prepared to play in the big game is stunning to me. I guess a two-part question. One is he going to be wearing that Rob Gronkowski brace on his forearm? And B, I want you to tell us, close your eyes and tell us, what would it be like for Brandon to get a strip sack and hoist the Lombardi Trophy?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where he is by with the end of the week. I know the Philly media is looking at me like, you better answer that the same way you answer all injury questions throughout the year. But we'll see where he is by the end of the week. If he's able to be out there with us, it'd mean a lot to this football team. Just his leadership, obviously his ability and his play, and the things that he can do. But it'd mean a lot for us out there to be able to make. If he's out there, I know he'll make plays that help us win or the football game.
All right, right side, front.
Good morning, Coach. Speaking of Vic Fangio, he comes in here with a lot of new guys. He had been here as a consultant, and now he's obviously the DC. What have you learned about him and his sort of wizardry over the years and abilities to turn defenses around in such short order?
Yeah, he's got great experience. When you talk about coaches, sometimes you're like, he's been a good coach for years. He's been a good coach for decades, which is impressive. He's had an unbelievable career and done so many good things, and just so grateful that he's on this staff. I think that he has a standard of how it's supposed to look and holds the guys to that standard. And he's not afraid to tell you what he thinks of if you don't meet the standard, and praise you if you do meet the standard. So, and I think the guys, there was a clip I saw of the guys kind of imitating him. I think imitation is a form of flattery, and so the guys like him. The guys like the fact that he can make them a better football player and help them reach their goals as players. So, he's been awesome. Like, just the way he's connected with the guys in that matter, you can see it in that matter, and then just the way he's called the defense, and he's great on game day. Brings so much experience. Helps me on some other things too. With some things, if I have a question, it's nice to have a former head coach there on staff with me, and so he's meant a lot to this team, and he's been awesome this year.
All right, left side, aisle. Hey, Coach. The Eagles are the first team since the '92-'93 Dallas Cowboys to enter this game with the top-ranked defense and a rushing game to post over 2,000 yards. Is there any added pressure with such an elite defense and a strong rushing attack to win this game?
Yeah, obviously we're going to do everything we can possibly do to put ourselves in position this week to win the game. That means the way we prep, the way we prepare. There's always pressure in this game. Like, have you been to Philly? I tell the story sometimes about one of my first games there as the head coach, and we're in a preseason game, and it was a preseason game, and they were booing at halftime, and I kind of remember getting in the car. So my wife adapted very quickly to Philly because I got in the car, and I've told this story before. So us coaches only have so many stories, and we recycle them and tell them over and over again. But I got in the car, and I'm like, could you believe that they were booing us at halftime of a second preseason game? It was against the Patriots. And she said, well, what'd you give them to cheer about? And I was like, that was fair. And so, there's pressure in all professional sports. We're used to that. We're built for it. And so what we need to do is control the things. Like, we can't control with the outside noise or anything like that. And all we can control is our habits, and that's what we'll try to do this week to try to put ourselves in position to succeed this weekend.
Right side, middle, third row.
Hey, Coach. Can you remember the exact moment when you knew you'd officially got Saquon Barkley? And obviously you would have watched his film as a player. Were you aware of what you were getting in terms of a teammate and a leader?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's not it's very obvious when you watch the tape how good of a player he is, right? But the things that he has, that he brings to our football team as far as his leadership, his work ethic, he's an awesome teammate. Those are the things that make him very special. And that's pretty special that I'm saying that even more after you see him jumping over guys backwards and all that stuff. Seeing him on tape, seeing him in person, having to play against him 2 times a year in division. A lot of times at the beginning of the year, I was like, man, this is exactly what I saw on tape when we were like, hey, here's how you got to try to tackle this guy. Because I remember just how many times he was on the Wednesday morning, hey, get ready for the opponent tape, like, hey, you got to make sure you close the space. You got all the things that we talk about with tackling was really emphasized with him, and it's awesome. He's an awesome teammate, awesome person. I can't say enough good things. I could spend the rest of this press conference talking about, what Saquon's meant to this football team and not even talk about anything on the field.
That was Nick Sirianni. You heard him. Not much new to say now as we inch towards the Super Bowl. There's some interesting questions in there. I'll have something to say about that in a little bit. But
he did get his dad, his brother, and his mom in there.
Yeah, he did all that. That's all good. At this point, I don't even want to hear from him anymore. I just want to get to the game, and I want to talk to the people about this game. So line up. I want to get your feel about this team and what's going to happen on Sunday. We got to start ramping up the excitement. Here's how you get in. It's 610-632 0975. It is the Mike Missanelli Show live on Radio Row. We're on the scene here in New Orleans. Back after this.
It's time for Birds Playoff Conversation.
You'll have butterflies.
Yes,
you'll have
absolutely.
Natural human nerves, but when it comes to the game itself, like you're not going to do the radio bait and switch.
No, I'm not going to do it, yes.
That we see in the city all the time.
And I'm also going to say it clearly from the beginning of the week. The Philadelphia Eagles not only will win the Super Bowl, they should win the Super Bowl.
Brought to you by Rally House and Corona. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This ain't the little itty bitty teeny tiny bowl. This is Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FANATIC. That's code FANATIC for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Wherever you are, we are. Online at 975thefanatic.com, on the Fanatic app, and on air. Keeping you informed on your favorite sports teams with insight and perspective you need to hear. Philadelphia's source for breaking sports news. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. Coming up at 2, the best show ever. Now, Mike Missanelli, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show live on Radio Row in New Orleans, where it is 11:50 Eastern Time and 10:50 for us. But we just heard Nick Sirianni, and now the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Oh, I can't wait for Jalen. Here we go. Let's go, Jalen.
Jalen, over here to your right, I want to ask you about A.J. Brown, who had a very good game in the Super Bowl, right over here, had a big game in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. How important will he be this weekend as a change-up complementary piece to Saquon?
Well, I think everyone all year has been, I think the goal has always been to try and complement everything that we have, you know, all the talent that we have, making sure everyone's involved and trying to utilize that because everyone has the ability to make a difference. And so it's a matter of taking advantage of opportunities when your number's called.
Jalen, you have multiple offensive coordinators in your years being in the NFL, but can you talk about Kellen Moore and what he's meant for your quarterbacking skills?
Yeah, he's been another person that I've been able to take in and take a lot from. You know, I think that's always been my MO, just pursuing this gradual improvement over my career. And I've been fortunate to have a ton of different people be involved in that, you know, and it's, you know, everyone desires that continuity because that consistency definitely does breed something, but there's also something in having the mentality of, you know, turning these situations into a positive and learning as much as I can, taking in as much knowledge as I can so I can be the best player I can be and ultimately lead the team to success. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Yes, sir. Good to see you, Jalen.
Same here.
AP instead of AP as we see it. Jalen, you've been in big games, Super Bowl. What are some things you try to tell teammates for this is their first time? And then what would you like to say to the Eagles fans before this game?
To the Eagles fans, I always feel the love wherever we go. I always feel the energy and the support, and we'll need it one more time this week.
And as far as my teammates that may have not experienced a game like this before or been in these type of moments, just treat it as you treat any other moment. You know, it's all about your focus. It's all about keeping the main thing truly, approaching everything diligently, daily, trusting the walk, trusting the work, staying in routine so you can prepare to do what you need to do and execute.
Hey, Jalen, how you doing?
Doing well.
Over the last few years, you've had a litany of different offensive-minded coordinators. How do you stay consistent, and what do you do to prepare yourself throughout any play call or just knowing that you got to do what you got to do on the field?
Yeah, it's always this openness to learn as much as I can and take in the new ideas that they bring in, but also knowing that there's a way that you see the game as well. And so I think with all the changes that have been here and all the changes that I've been through, I've been the only constant in that and in terms of how I play the game and ultimately the desire to win, you know, kind of over season, all of those things. And so I've just been very diligent in it, being open-minded, coming in open arms and taking it all in so I can continue my development.
Ernesto Del Valle from Focus Sport Mexico. Did you make something special about these days with your tight ends, with your wide receivers, or something that is not normal in the regular season? Because you have Español and the defense is very, very hard for the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, you know, this is a great opponent we're about to play. A really good opponent, well coached, great players, smart, and it'll be a great challenge for us. And I think for us, regardless of what the position is, it's just about controlling what we can. You know, we got an opportunity to, you know, get to work and invest into this thing and, you know, just go through our process throughout the week. So I think in the fair clutch of circumstance, that's what we're going to lean on.
Hey, Jalen, right here. Last year you had the most interceptions in your entire career, and this year you followed it up with the fewest in your entire career in a full season. I'm curious, what has led to this efficient bounce back for you this season?
It's just been the work. You know, I think, again, you can attest all of these different things to change in continuity in the sense of, you know, you want to find a rhythm in one person. It's been a challenge to do that, but ultimately my desire to try and find a way to win the game overseas everything else. And so whether it's, you know, whatever stats are out there, good, bad, or indifferent, you know, I ask myself, did I win?
Jalen Hurts, I will say this. He does one thing that Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes
I hear the sarcasm already.
May not do.
I hear it already. Where are you going with
may
this?
not do.
What's that?
Well, he keeps the main thing the main thing.
I knew it.
Keep the main thing
I
the
knew it
main
was coming
thing.
in.
610-632-0975. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Your calls are up next in the big 12 o'clock hour heading your way here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Updates.
Looking for a different result? I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Family & Company Jewelers. Get her a gift that will last forever. A 24-karat gold dip rose. Use code word Andrew online at checkout for 10% off. FamilyJewelers.com. Just 2 years removed from the heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs in Super Bowl 57, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles meet up with Kansas City again in Super Bowl 59. During his media session yesterday, Hurts was asked about the difference in him in that time.
Thinking about all the games we've played since then, all the moments we've had, all the opportunities we've had, just being a more mature person, growing, better leader, all of these things that I've been able to push myself and push the threshold of my whole entire career.
You got a chance to hear from both Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts as they address the B. We'll continue to get you some audio from down there in New Orleans as the Eagles meet with the media today. They'll meet with them again tomorrow. And we should expect to see an injury report today from the Birds, which could give us insight to Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, and Kenny Gainwell and how they're doing. In South Philly last night, Joel Embiid returned, had a triple-double as the 76ers won 118-116 over the Mavs. They've got the Heat tonight. Joel Embiid will be out for that game. You can listen to it, though, right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Sixers also began yesterday by trading Caleb Martin to the Mavericks in exchange for Quentin Grimes and a 2025 second-round pick. KJ Martin today on the move to the Pistons. We'll keep you updated on anything going on with the Sixers, and the Flyers lost 3-2 in Utah last night. This update's also brought to you by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Get matched to your perfect bed now and sleep at night. Plus, if you see a lower price, they'll match it. Restrictions apply. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hey, it's John Kincade from Kincade and Salciunas mornings here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And you know what? I told God I only needed one Super Bowl championship. Well, guess what? I lied, God. I won a second, and I want it now. Well, this week. And the coverage on 97.5 The Fanatic is going to be wild. We'll be in New Orleans. We'll be bringing you all the flavor of Super Bowl 59. Join us all week long. Stay glued to The Fanatic at 975thefanatic.com.
The FanDuel Kick of Destiny is back, and this time it's every Manning for himself, because this Super Bowl, two legends will take the field in a sudden death field goal showdown. Peyton versus Eli, live from New Orleans. One kick to claim ultimate family bragging rights. Who will rise to the moment? Pick your winner now in the FanDuel app in partnership with Valley Forge, and if you back the right brother, you'll earn a share of $10 million in bonus bets. It's the FanDuel Kick of Destiny 3. Make your free pick, and don't forget to tune in to watch the showdown live during the Super Bowl 59 pregame show on Fox at 3 p.m. Eastern. May the best Manning win. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com/winning. That's FanDuel.com/winning, and bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59.
21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. No purchase necessary. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Home Field Advantage is brought to you by Bradford White, because how you heat your water, it matters. Unfortunately, at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, the Birds fans aren't going to create that much of a home field advantage, because these Super Bowl events, they tend to be very, very corporate. But if any Eagles Super Bowl of the past is an indicator, I can promise you they will be heard from, and they will at some points have a chance to affect the game. Look, it's Philly. Home field advantage matters here. It's not just tradition, it's what we live for. Let the games heat up at home, and let Bradford White heat up your home.
When it comes to your home or business, Bradford White knows hot water is not optional. It's essential each and every day. That's why Bradford White makes water heaters that are built to be the best, with innovative features like our exclusive Microban antimicrobial technology that helps protect and keep the tank clean and extends the life of the water heater for top performance 24/7. How you heat your water matters, so choose the proven reliability of Bradford White. Learn more at bradfordwhite.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
DrivePhilly.com, DrivePhilly.com, DrivePhilly.com. A better, different dealership. DrivePhilly.com offers the largest indoor showroom so you can stay warm while you pick out your next ride. Tired of hearing you don't qualify or no? Then you gotta go to DrivePhilly.com. In Philly, when the sports teams don't score, we get mad. But no matter your credit score, Drive Philly will make you glad as you drive away happy in your car or truck from DrivePhilly.com. So don't waste time. Make a beeline to DrivePhilly.com, the car you need at the deal you want.
At Tompkins Community Bank, business as usual becomes business accomplished with personal advice that helps you achieve big dreams. It's business accelerated with powerful banking solutions and fast, effective answers. And business amazing with cash management solutions that help you manage your growing success. Don't choose business as usual. Choose powerful and personal, and the best banking relationship you'll ever have. Tompkins, your bank of choice. TompkinsBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five. Yeah.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. It's 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security at a great rate that won't change. It's back for a limited time. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies a monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Mike Missanelli. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Noon in the Delaware Valley, Mike Missanelli Show. We are live at the big Radio Row production here en route to the Super Bowl, which will be on Sunday. This is the big media gathering where a lot of people do their shows every every day from here for the whole week. We are doing it today, tomorrow, and Friday, along with the morning show. So we want to thank the people who made this possible, especially the people from FanDuel. Our coverage of the big game in the Big Easy, including our live broadcast here presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Coverage also brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Visit TrueMark.com or one of the 24 local branches to learn more. And you go this Sunday. We will not be in attendance at the game because we want to bring you fresh reaction. Like Bill, we have to get Bill back this weekend because he's got the best Birds pregame show in Philly. It starts at 2 p.m. It goes until kickoff at 6:30. Andrew Salciunas, who will also be back home, Bill Colarulo, Connor Thomas, live at Patty Wax on 150 South Street in Philadelphia. Come out and join the Fanatic on game day. You'd much rather be at Patty Wax on Sunday than you would be in some stuffy big dome stadium.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's the next best thing. Knick-knack, paddywhack. Come see the pregame show.
All right. We've talked about a lot of things. Listen, Charles Barkley was on. He's got them winning by 17 points, 34-17. He thinks it's going to be a blowout. There are a lot of people that also think it is going to be a blowout. Now, I don't know about that because that's just, the Chiefs don't lose by – like, when's the last time? What was that statistic? The last time they lost by more than 8?
Well, it's 132 starts for Patrick Mahomes.
132 starts.
They've only lost by 8 or more 5 times.
That's just uncanny, and that means he stays in the game. And he does. That's what he does. He stays in the game. Now, if you look at the game, Fangio's defense is a bend but don't break defense. The Chiefs aren't a big explosive play offense anyway, so I think that evens it out a little bit. I think the Chiefs will move the ball inch by inch, which is what they do. 6-yard passes here. Maybe they break one Xavier Ward. Who knows? I think that they're just a steady offense that gets them into field goal position. I think if the Eagles can hold them to field goals on trips, the Eagles win the game.
Yeah, and look, if they can hold them to 3 instead of 7, sure. I'm looking at the numbers here of the Chiefs' offense this season. I wanted to see where they ranked in terms of red zone efficiency. I mean, a lot of this you could throw out the window when you got Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, but red zone this year, the Chiefs' offense was, 22nd in the NFL. Going up against that's not good.
No, that's not good.
Going up against the Eagles' defense was top 5.
That's a major advantage for the Eagles. There's no question about it.
It is going to be.
You want to rely on that? We can rely on that. And we can rely on the fact that they've got the best player on the field in Saquon Barkley. And if Saquon breaks a long touchdown, that breaks the other team's spirit. And if he does it twice, they give up. I mean, we've seen it before. They just get demoralized. So I think that's going to have to happen. And I think Jalen is going to have to be his efficient self. I think this has got to be a Barkley game. You dare Spagnuolo to stop the run. Because if the Eagles pass a lot, he's going to have these exotic blitzes that may get to Jalen, and I don't want to see that. I'd rather see them play the game the way they played it all year. So we'll see.
Well, a way to prevent that with Spagnuolo doing those exotic blitzes, not to get into 3rd and long situations. The Eagles have to stay ahead of the chains. That's why I think you rely on your running game early like they've been doing. If they're not in 3rd and long, it makes it a lot more difficult for Spagnuolo to be able to come up with these exotic blitzes in known passing down situations. 3rd and short, I'm taking the Eagles every time. Because now, Spagnuolo, if you try to blitz them, if the Eagles run the football effectively, or if they have those hot routes built in, or the RPOs, it's going to be when they get into those 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, where he's going to be able to dial up some things that could confuse you. So lean on your running game. Do what you've done all season. I mean, this team, we keep talking about Kansas City, talking about, they haven't lost by more than 8 points 5 times in 132 starts. The Eagles haven't lost since September 29th with Jalen Hurts starting and finishing a game. They've been dominant since the bye week.
All right. Has the line gone down to 1? Somebody told me it went down to 1.
Let me take a look. I'll check our FanDuel app here. I'm a big FanDuel guy.
Of course you are.
And I just noticed FanDuel's behind us, and the Up and Adams show with Kay Adams is back there.
And you've been touting Kay Adams for a while there.
I like Kay. I think she does a good job.
Yeah.
She does a nice job.
She does a really good job.
Yeah. Looks good doing it.
1. It's down to 1.
Does that make you feel better?
It does make me feel better. I told you if that line moved in the Eagles' favor, it would make me feel a little better.
Now, I think FanDuel still has it at 1.5. I think it depends on what book you're looking at.
These are all the books here.
Yeah, and I think FanDuel's 1.5.
This is where's FanDuel?
The blue.
Okay. All right. FanDuel still has it 1.5, but in a lot of other books, it has gone down to 1. That's encouraging for me. What?
I was going to say I haven't hedged my bet yet. So I'm leaning on not doing it because I think this is going to be a blowout.
Oh, because you had the Eagles winning the Super Bowl and you could win $4,000?
I would win $4,000 if they win. So I'm wondering, do I put money on the Chiefs money line? But I'm so confident that the Eagles are going to win this game and win it big. I may even bet the Eagles again. Instead of hedging my bet, I may double my bet.
Double it. Double it.
Let it ride.
Be a man, for crying out loud.
Let it ride.
All right, the other topic we've talked about, obviously, is the Jalen Hurts. What does he figure in? Let's play this, Ray. Let's play what Orlovsky had to say about Jalen and where he figures right now as far as NFL quarterbacks.
I don't think there's anything that Jalen can do to be in the conversation with those three guys as players. I agree with your point that the Super Bowl it elevates the perception of him. But talent-wise, I don't think Jalen's ever going to be into that group. But if he wins a Super Bowl, then those three guys, we're going to have the conversations of when are they and if they will ever jump into there. But Stephen A., if I asked you to rank those 4 guys right now, like you get to draft those 4 guys right now, you're not taking Jalen Hurts over any of them. Correct?
No, you're not. No, you're not.
So
no, you're
I
not.
just
But
don't.
From a conversation perspective, I'm simply saying the conversation changes. I understand if you're analyzing and dissecting their games the way that Dan Orlovsky does. Certainly, he's a distant fourth compared to the other 3.
All right, well, there you go. Distant fourth compared to the other 3.
That's Stephen A.
And Bill's not saying that. Bill says he's in the conversation with those guys. I don't think he's in the conversation with those guys. I think he might be able to put himself in the conversation if they win this Super Bowl and he plays very well.
I think he's already in the conversation. I mean,
he's not in the conversation.
If they win the Super Bowl, of course, then.
Not with Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes.
But what are you basing that on? Like,
come on, man.
I mean, look, you could go back to the NFL draft, and every quarterback that was taken in the top 5 may have a better skill set on paper. It doesn't translate.
A lot of it is by feel, but you can't make the case that he's there in that echelon right now.
Do you know what his record is against those guys?
I know what his record
3-0.
We're taking a break. We'll come back. We got your calls on deck. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Hey, guys. Andrew Salciunas here, host of Kincade and
circulating. It is a fun time, and we are only a few days away from hopefully Jalen Hurts finally silencing all of the critics and putting himself firmly in the conversation as being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. If he can deliver a Lombardi trophy, that would be his second Super Bowl appearance and a Super Bowl victory in only 3 years, Michael.
All right, yes, absolutely. Now, there are a lot of themes that we're talking about today, and another theme has just kind of broken. There's this notion that the Chiefs get the benefit of the doubt. They get the calls. They cheat. Whatever it is, that the officials are on their side. The league is on their side. All that. I don't buy into that. I never bought into the officials helping anybody. I think the calls even out. I think when you look at officials, you look at it provincially, like they're always against your team and they can't win. But all these accusations have come out, and Roger Goodell had to come out and make a statement where he said it's absolutely ridiculous to think that these officials are shaping the game that way for a particular team. And now the officials are a little upset about it, so they released a statement today, right? The officiating union or whatever that is?
Yeah, this came out yesterday. The NFL Referees Association Executive Director Scott Green. So he said, Commissioner Goodell's comments that it is ridiculous to presume that NFL officials are not doing everything possible to make the right call on every play is spot on. But then he went a little bit further. He said, officiating crews do not work the same team more than twice each regular season. It is insulting and preposterous to hear conspiracy theories that somehow 17 officiating crews consisting of 138 officials are colluding to assist one team, end quote. Mike, I love this. This is exactly what I wanted. I'm glad that the noise is very loud about the officiating, given all the benefit of the doubt to the Chiefs, because now they're going to go out of their way to not do that. If it's a close call, there's no way they're giving it to the Chiefs in light of all of this. It's become mainstream because there's something true about it. I get it. It's preposterous to think there's a conspiracy theory, but they are getting way more calls than anybody else.
I don't buy it for a second. But in any event, maybe it backfires on them. There you go. Yeah, is that what you think? Well, the team that thinks they're getting cheated. How about if we go the other way with that? You know, there's always different ways you can go with that.
There's no way. Sorry, I'm seeing a meeting between Brian Billick, their tight end Todd Heap. You remember Todd Heap?
Oh yeah.
And Sean Merriman.
Todd, what did Chris Berman call him?
I don't remember that one.
Todd Uriah Heap.
Dude,
you don't know who Uriah
I
Heap
don't.
is. Yeah,
all right. Sean Merriman looked like he can play right now.
Sean Merriman looks like
he is jacked out of his mind right now.
Who's the other guy?
That was Todd Heap.
Oh, that's Todd Heap with the white hat on?
Yeah, and then Billick was floating around as well. Do you remember who won the Super Bowl for Brian Billick?
Who won the Super Bowl? Yeah, that was Trent Dilfer.
That was Trent Dilfer.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
That was the ultimate game manager right there.
All right, let's go back to the phones here. We haven't had a phone call in a while. So let's go to Dave. It's been hanging for a really long time. Dave in Horsham. Dave, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Mike, welcome back. I haven't talked to you since you've been back, but it's great to hear you back on the air. And I've been listening to you since before the Steve and Mike days when you were MG Missanelli.
Yeah.
So,
I used to do my first show was with Stan Hochman on weekends.
Oh, you went with the MG?
No, I don't know on radio if I went MG, but that was my newspaper days.
That's probably where it's from. Hey, by the way,
yeah.
Where's the Hey Ray's here? Where's that from? That little.
That's from Everybody Loves Raymond.
What's that?
Okay.
Yes. Ray's here.
Yeah, that's from Everybody Loves Raymond, which neither me or Mike is a huge fan of.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, I wanted to talk about Jalen Hurts. In my opinion, he barely makes the top 10 NFL best quarterbacks. And the reason
come on, man. You're hating.
These are players I'd rather have. Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Burrow, Herbert, Daniels, and then it gets a little questionable with
Well, why would you say Herbert? He hasn't done anything.
Yeah, but
why Herbert?
He's a better passer. He's a better player.
But he's not. He's not done anything. That's ridiculous that we would put Herbert ahead of him.
Well, especially after that wild card game, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you saw what Herbert did in that
He's the
game.
most overhyped, overrated quarterback in the league.
And here's the thing. It depends on how you're saying it. So Hurts has been more successful than those guys so far in regards to playoff appearance, which is a team stat. But as far as how good of a player, he's like 8th in the league. I mean, they're all better passers than him, and I maybe not.
Yeah, but just because you're a better passer, that counts, okay? Arm strength counts. It dazzles people. But you also have to be a winner with that arm strength. You have to lead your team to some kind of victories with that arm strength. Herbert doesn't do that.
I know, but
you're really disrespecting Jalen Hurts. Like, he doesn't throw powder puffs. He can complete passes when he wants. He just doesn't. He doesn't have the dazzle wow factor that those 4 guys that we've mentioned, and that puts him in a tier below those guys. But you can't put Herbert and Jaden Daniels, and Bill's right. It's too early for Jaden Daniels. He had a chance to perform in that big game. He didn't perform.
I know, but they're the guys. If I had my choice to have Hurts or those guys, they're the guys I'd probably rather have.
Okay. I don't know that we can. I think that's pretty unfair.
Dude, I'm over the Herbert, man. The Justin Herbert stuff.
Yeah,
I gave him the benefit of the doubt when he had Brandon Staley as his coach. But this season, I mean, that wild card matchup, I'm just pulling up. 4 interceptions he threw in that game against the Texans, and the guy looked terrible. He had a QBR of 12.9 in that game. That's not showing up in a big moment. Jalen Hurts has done the exact opposite. Big moments, the guy plays his best.
All right, let's grab Ish. Ish. We were just seconds from Ish, and we have to take a commercial break, Ish. I know a lot of people would rather hear you than the commercial, Ish, but we'll have to wait for that. That comes on the other side. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. We are live on Radio Row right here in New Orleans, Louisiana. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Looking for a different result? I'm Ray Dunn with this update, and it's brought to you by Corona. Join 97.5 The Fanatic this Sunday at Patty Wax on South Street starting at 2 p.m. for the big game pregame show and watch party with Andrew and Connor. Enjoy $5 Coronas, $5 Modelo drafts, and exclusive prizes. Don't miss out. Details at 975thefanatic.com. Please drink responsibly. Just 2 years removed from the heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs in Super Bowl 57. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles meet up with Kansas City again in Super Bowl 59. During his media session Tuesday, Hurts was asked about the difference in him since that time.
Thinking about all the games we've played since then, all the moments we've had, all the opportunities we've had, just being a more mature person, growing, better leader, all of these things that I've been able to push myself and push the threshold of my whole entire career.
The Eagles dressed the media again today, and they'll do so again tomorrow. Heard a little bit from Hurts and Sirianni in that 11 o'clock hour. Eagles also should get an injury report out today to give us a little bit of a heads up what's going on that front. Elsewhere in South Philly last night, Embiid returned, dropped triple-double. 76ers won 118-116 over the Mavs. They have the Heat tonight. You can listen to that game right here on the Fanatic. Embiid will be out for that game. Sixers also busy right now. Trade deadline coming up in the NBA. Trade both the Martins on the team. Caleb Martin is head to the Mavericks. KJ Martin to the Pistons. Flyers lost 3-2 last night to the Utah Hockey Club. This update is also brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hey, it's Ricky Metallico from the best show ever. Weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.5 The Fanatic. All week long, we're going to be breaking down the Eagles and what they need to do to come home with the Lombardi Trophy. We'll have Tim McManus, Andrew DiCecco, Dave Zungaro, and so many others who follow the team on the road to New Orleans. Listen to the best show ever for complete Eagles coverage all week on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. Go Birds!
Hey, it's Mike Missanelli. If you're looking for a new car, how about Gateway Kia? It's the place to go for many reasons. They've got more than 400 vehicles in stock, first of all, and when you buy a Kia, 1227, Mike Missanelli Show live on Radio Row in the Convention Center here as we await Super Bowl 59 on Sunday. Chiefs, Eagles. And, you know, it's funny, the activity that goes on down here, you never know who's going to walk by. We get all kinds of important guests flying around, and we got a big important guest for us right now. You hear him and watch him every Sunday on the Fox NFL pregame show. He knows everybody and everybody's family and everybody in the business. It's amazing the wealth of knowledge our next guest has. Jay Glazer joining us. What's up, Jay?
Living a dream, man. Living a dream. How could I not? We got the game here on Fox, and you can hear my voice is already gone. I've been here since Sunday, man. I'm already shot, but we'll be good.
I can't tell when your voice is already gone.
I know. The crazy thing, I'm actually doing like a tour today about ADHD, but it's an 8-hour media tour, which is really not ADHD conducive.
All right, Jay, so let's touch on the expertise, because you always have the insight on injury reports. So both teams, especially the Eagles now, you had a couple banged-up guys that had to get through it on the offensive line. Jalen always has a little bit of a problem. What do you hear now about the health of all these guys in this game?
It's probably the healthiest I remember Super Bowl teams ever going into a game. It really is. Man, last time we did this game, I remember Travis's back locked up in the AFC Championship game bad. And I put something out on the pregame show about it. No one else knew about it. But they were literally warming him up in the tunnel to see if they're going to activate him or not. And it was downplayed, but it was bad. Patrick had, what did he have that time? He had a bad ankle and toe, or something along those lines. Something that would have kept somebody else out for like 2 months except for him. But both these teams are really healthy. Obviously, you looked at, Jalen the last game, how much he ran. He's good.
The Jergens-Dickerson dynamic is really interesting to me. How they looked like they were really beat up in that last game.
By the way, they were. But this is what I love about this team. Okay, it's your honor to fight hurt, and that's how they go about it. That's what Mahomes does. That's what these guys do. You guys know, Lane Johnson lived with me for 5 months, and that's one of the big things we do of training our mixed martial arts program of if our fighters and players are hurt or tired, you will never, ever, ever freaking know. Ever. Like, our fighters can't take a stool in between rounds. They got to pace back and forth because I want you looking at it. And we learned this from Randy Couture, who's my partner in this, and Chuck Liddell was another guy who trains with us. But we want to break you. We want you to sit there and like you can't put your hands on your hips. We want to sit there and have the other fighter or player sitting there going, why is that dude not getting tired? Why does he not have his hands on his hips? Why is he not hurt? If you watch Andrew Whitworth play, who we had for years, Whit would not put his head in the huddle. He would actually go sideways to look and see who had their hands on their hips, who's hurting, who's doing that. And that's what I love about these guys. But it's funny because, again, I talk mental health now, and Lane lived with me for all those months. And I'm like, we need that mindset in a cage or in a football field. But that same mindset, especially us men, outside the cage or off the field, gets people like me and Lane to crawl up in a freaking corner in the middle of the night crying for no reason or want to, a lot of us want to do something worse to ourselves. And that's why it's a pretty cool, interesting dynamic. You could have both. But I know as athletes, you're only ingrained and you're taught and meant to have that first part. And now I'm trying to show people, no, it's manly to open up to each other. And, Lane, like a guy like Lane, and I do a feature for this pregame show with A.J. Brown, too, as a mental health buddy. That makes you a real man to start opening up and talking to each other. And they went from friends to brothers by being able to talk about this stuff.
Talk to me a little bit more about that, because I know you came public about your struggles with that. And, for a long time, I guess you hid that. So, talk about what that was like to live with before you decided that you would break through with it.
So I got diagnosed. I got started taking a therapist when I was 5 by my parents, like I was the screwed up one. And but I have clinical depression, ADHD, anxiety, bipolar, you name it. And I hid it for years. And I hid it also with a lot of things I wish I didn't take now. I call it the beast getting out of the box. I would take a bunch of Vicodin and Adderall and go out and drink and not let anybody know, if you will, and hide what my real pain was. And I would rather get in trouble than I admit that I have depression or anxiety or anything along those lines. I got diagnosed with ADHD back in 1989 and got put on some stuff that was a stimulant that it ramped you up, but the downs were really dangerous for me and others around me. And I used to have to go tell my teachers, like, hey, I have to go leave this class to go take this pill, and just so it's been a really lonely journey for a long time. And I created this character for a long time, and to the point where, again, Lane Johnson lived with me. He would see me have meltdowns, and he never talked about his own thing, right? And how lonely is that for him until he fell off the reservation, and then we were really able to talk. Hey, dude, we got to lean into each other. The coolest thing that happened to me, though, and I got to really credit combat vets for giving me the courage to talk about it, because I created a foundation years ago called MVP, where I would take former athletes and former fighters, football players, when the uniform comes off, put them with veterans' uniform comes off, and we'd train for about a half hour, but we'd have a mental health talk. And I'm like, man, if I could do it with these cats, I need to spread this to the world. And like I said, it's gone from being really lonely and ashamed to having a ton of brothers and sisters I never knew I would be able to have.
Was there a rock bottom moment for you? I know people talk about that. They go
every freaking
things.
week, dude.
Okay,
like,
so
and here's the thing.
Moment where you said, I gotta get.
I'm a work in progress still. It's not. I do a lot more things now that I know could help, but that darkness is that gray, and I try and describe it to people. It's like you wake up a lot of times. Every day you feel unworthy, at least for me. I don't feel worthy of being loved, so every time I find love, I try to ruin it, because the living in question for me of when it was going to end was worse than it ending. So I sabotage everything. The anxiety, man, I'm great in chaos, but I suck in calm. So I cause chaos. The ADHD for me, I was always told I had a learning disability. I'm like, I don't got a learning disability. I just don't learn the way you teach. But every freaking week in school, I'm getting in trouble because, like, when you have ADHD, you feel like you're drowning. And the only way to get a breath of fresh air is for you to disrupt the class, or for me to talk, for me to go, do something, or I'm not paying attention. You think I want to get grounded every week? No. And then, unfortunately for me, all the meds I got put on over the years, which is, there's been over 30 across the board, didn't work. And then when weed got legal, I was like, man, if there's ever anybody should be a weed guy, it's me, but I suck at weed, so I can't use that. I finally got, because I talk about now, I'm here talking about this prescription I take called Qelbree, which is a non-stimulant ADHD drug, which I actually take at night. So because I talk about it now, I have these things at my disposal. Because I talk about it now too, I have these brotherhoods. I never would. And the coolest part is I have these teams now call me and say, hey, we don't know how to handle this. Can you help? And the being a service thing really helps me between my ears. And having teams really helps me. My fight team is a team. My Fox NFL Sunday team is a team. But like the whole league is a team for me, and that helps. Let
me ask you one question, though, because your career is amazing, and how you attach to these players, and like I have so much more to ask you on how they trust you, and what trust you have to give to them, and what you can say and what you can't say.
Just be authentic.
But there was a Philadelphia issue this year when it came to your report about BG and Big Dom going to see Jalen Hurts, saying you need to be a better teammate. Now, they came out afterwards and said it was BS. Mm-hmm. So what's your response to that whole thing?
Yeah, actually, Jalen and I talked about it. BG and I waved at each other, and I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing? I know BG he took a beating the week before, right? Yeah. So I think he just didn't want his name in anything after that. And then I even had someone, hey, you got to take one for the team here. I'm like, I'm going to take nothing for the team. I'm not on a team. But you guys know me and my reputation when I come out with things. Yeah. But also, who cares who went where? That wasn't the story. The story was, I told this to Jalen, dude, the story is that during the bye week, he did go take these extra steps to connect with, met with the offensive line. He took the corners out, or their defensive backs out for dinner. Him and Nick did a lot together. So credit to Jalen. I'm like, dude, look, if you guys want to say whoever went to your house didn't, I don't really care. But the story is what you did. And that kind of got lost in it, because I think a lot of times whenever I have something, people are like, oh my God, Jay Glazer said something. It's like it happens to me with the Giants all the time. The Giants all the time.
You created great talk for us, Sports Talk Radio, with that report, by the way. So thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. No problem.
Yeah, Jay Glazer, thanks for stopping by, man. I know
Absolutely,
your handler's got to take you all over the place today.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks,
you got a prediction on the game?
Man, here's the thing. The Eagles have the better team. But I see what Mahomes has done, but I don't know what he can't do. So I'm in a quandary when it comes to the prediction because the dude's just – it's like Brady. It's like Brady. But the Eagles have the better personnel. Yeah.
All right, man. No prediction from Jay. All right, thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate
Thank you. That was real good. All right, let's take a break. Mike Missanelli Show. Big back after this.
Now, a Birds Insider Update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic. Well, that was interesting with Jake Laser.
It was. Maybe I forgot that
he went
Lane
deep.
Johnson lived with him.
Yeah.
I don't know if I remembered that, but
Lane lived with him. One of the other things, we didn't get a chance to talk about it because his handlers were grabbing at him
he's getting
to
pulled in
move
all
him
directions.
elsewhere. But he actually went to Westchester University to box for the Westchester team.
That's what he told us right before
And
he came on air.
got thrown out of Westchester
Yeah, he said some
because he was a
disciplinary
troublemaker. He hails from the Central Jersey Shore.
Oh, is that where he's from?
Yeah.
Central Jersey Shore.
It's a great story, like how he got to L.A., how he got to be ingrained with all these athletes, how he got to train and train them, and
he does know everybody.
Yeah, he does. So.
And I'm glad you asked him about that report because you remember he comes out that during the bye, Brandon Graham and Big Dom had to go to Jalen and say, hey, you need to connect with your teammates more. And then it was immediately refuted by Brandon Graham, Jalen Hurts, everybody involved. Oh, it didn't happen. And you knew you could trust Glazer's report on it. He wasn't going to make it up. And like he just told us, it wasn't meant to be a hit piece on Hurts. It was meant to be a positive thing, saying, look, he changed. He went out of his way to really connect. But, it is what it is. We're here now. We don't necessarily need to harp on the past, but it does bother me that maybe he needed to be reminded to connect with your teammates more. But I am happy that Hurts decided to change.
Yeah, and he stood by the story. So those guys were trying to say, it didn't happen. You never know who to everybody lies in the business. When somebody puts a report out like that, he doesn't want to lose his credibility. He's pretty much got it nailed down.
Yeah.
And so when see, it's great because players can then come, it never happened. And then the fans go, see, you're picking on our players. The damn media. Right? It always comes back down to that.
What I love, though, is he said somebody, whatever with the Eagles, reached out to Glazer. You got to take one for the team. He's like, no, I don't. I'm not on the team.
Yeah, he's not
I'm
on the team.
Taking one for the
Take
team.
one for the team. All right, let's go back to the text board, Ray. What do we have in the text board?
We got some stuff on the Hurts conversation.
Okay, we got on the Hurts conversation. Go ahead, what we got?
A lot of people checking in today on Hurts. Let's go to Ray in Williamstown. As much as I hate to do this, I have to agree with Bill about Hurts. Skill set is all well and good, but the intangibles matter more than skill set. Jay Cutler had an amazing skill set. He was Aaron Rodgers from the neck down, while Drew Brees was knocked for being too short and not having a cannon arm. Winning at the clip that Jalen Hurts has done encompasses skill set, leadership, and poise, all characteristics of a relentless winner. Don't forget he's made crucial throws at crucial times. Not sure what else he needs to do.
That's fine, except what? You're saying the other guys don't? Like Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or like Jay Cutler? Like, come on. Completely different quarterbacks here.
Yes, but you're not saying that. I'm not saying that Hurts is above them. I'm saying that he's in the conversation.
He's not in the conversation with them yet. He's not.
Well,
and that's not to denigrate him. He's just not in that conversation. He's in that little tier that's below that tier. Come on, man. Stop it.
The guy shows up when it matters.
I know
man.
I agree with everything you say.
Mike,
he shows up. He does this. He does that.
Since that bye week, okay? Since the bye week when he was a turnover problem in those first 4 weeks, he's got 33 total touchdowns, only 3 turnovers, and the team hasn't lost.
You can bring up
what else you want him to do?
Any statistic that you want. When we're talking about the evaluation of a quarterback, if he wins the Super Bowl, he'll be in the conversation. He is not at that tier that those 4 guys are. Now, if you want to put him 5th, that's fine.
I think he's got to be in that conversation. But I got a bigger problem.
I keep asking you the question. Well, who would you take? Who would you not take over him right now?
I probably would take
all of them. You would take all of them over him. So how could you put him in the conversation then? It doesn't make any sense.
I guess
you say you can put him around the conversation. You can't put him in it yet.
But all of this is stemming from Orlovsky saying that no matter what he does,
well, that's wrong.
He will never be
no matter
on
what
their
he does
level.
because if he keeps winning like this, he'll be Joe Montana.
Yeah, I mean,
for crying out loud.
And I keep throwing it out to you. If Hurts performs the way he did in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, if he does that on Sunday and it results in a win,
then maybe he gets into the conversation. But we're speaking right now on a Wednesday.
He's still
not in the conversation.
He's in the conversation. But you know what bothered me more about that text? Can you answer this for me?
What?
As much as it hates me to do this, I agree with Bill. Like, I haven't been spot on all damn season with this damn team. What do you mean, as much as it pains you to do it, you agree with me? Who is that texter, Ray? Is that you?
No, it was not. No, I like the name and I like the premise of their text.
Ray can't read, though, right now because he's got eye strain from that seat last night.
From his seats at the Sixers.
I can see Ray with opera glasses, like he's at Bohème. La Bohème. There's Ray with the opera glasses.
Listen. Maybe if you didn't.
Wait, they look like Matchbox cars.
Ray, I blame Mike for this because maybe if he
I'm
didn't,
sorry,
rip the Sixers so
I'm
much
sorry,
to start
Ray.
the season, they would have given you better tickets.
I'm sorry, Ray. Here's what you got to do. You got to go down to the lower level, take the picture, then go back up to your seat.
Why would I be a fraud?
Because people like me start breaking your stones.
It's fine. I can live with you doing that. It's the day that ends in Y here.
Oh man,
Let's go to Ish.
I'm with you, Ray.
11. Oh, ready?
Every time we try to go to Ish.
Every time we go to Ish, come on. Ish is hanging in there, though. He's on the docks. He's still hanging. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Looking for a different result? I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. Just 2 years removed from the heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs in Super Bowl 57, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles meet up with Kansas City again in Super Bowl 59. During his media session on Tuesday, Hurts was asked about the difference in him since that time.
Thinking about all the games we've played since then, all the moments we've had, all the opportunities we've had, just being a more mature person, growing, better leader, all of these things that I've been able to push myself and push the threshold of my whole entire career.
Got a chance to hear from Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni earlier today in the 11 o'clock hours. The Eagles addressed the media again. We should expect an injury report from the Eagles today, giving us insight on some of the guys who were banged up in that NFC Championship game. Looking elsewhere in South Philly tonight, South Philly last night, Joel Embiid returned and dropped triple-doubles. The 76ers won 118-116 over the Mavs. They have the Heat tonight. Joel Embiid will be out for that game, but you catch the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Sixers also traded away two Martins yesterday and today. Yesterday it was Caleb Martin going to the Mavericks. Today it's KJ Martin going to the Pistons. Flyers lost 3-2 to Utah last night. This update's also brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio. You get an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Kincade and Salciunas are back live from the Big Easy to give you the latest on KC and Philly as we get ready for the big game. Insight and perspective you need to hear, plus
All right, it's 12:55. Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fact. All right, we're on the hunt here.
I want him bad, Mike.
For Chris Sims.
Vito just ran to try to get him.
Vito's going to try to get Chris Sims and say, Philly really wants you. We need to talk to you about that, what you said about the Rams game, where if you take away the 3 touchdowns and the turnovers, the Rams would have won that game.
Yeah.
So I need him to. And he's been rough on Philadelphia. So we got to admit, it's a call to action.
If we can get him too, we may be able to help him, because maybe just like Pat Riley trademarked three-peat, maybe Sims can trademark Simsies like we had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
the Simsies.
Yeah, tell him we honored him with the Simsies.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he has any good humor.
Yeah,
he may walk out and get up and leave, but hopefully
There's no way he's coming on Philly radio.
We can track him. Oh, he's over there at the podcast now. I see where he is. He's over at the Ross Tucker podcast.
Vito's trying to get him. We'll see if we can get
Ross is a buddy. Maybe Ross will say, hey, they're good guys. All right.
But Ross isn't going to grill him.
No, Ross is not going to grill him.
No.
Okay. Let's get to the phones. We finally got Ish. All right. Ish has been hanging for a really long time. Well, hello, Ish. How's the thing? How things?
Hey, Mike. How are you?
What's going on? How are you?
Hey, I'm okay. Yeah, listen, I really like the conversation you had with Jay Glazer. That was really eye-opening. That's why I love listening to your show, because you have different topics, and I think that was powerful to a lot of people. So I just wanted to give you credit for that.
Yeah, I think Jay really opened up. I thought it may be beneficial for people to hear what he had to go through.
Yeah, that was nice. Now, besides that, I have 2 points. I don't understand why Dan Orlowski is talking about Jalen Hurts will never be on Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and everybody else's level. He's winning at this point. Why would you bring that up when he's in a Super Bowl? He's been in 2 Super Bowls. I don't understand. I believe.
Well, I was just in a conversation on how good Jalen was. I don't know what the context was, but I don't think he's just intentionally trying to pick on him. It was said in the context of the conversation.
I can't really listen to a quarterback that threw for 3,000 yards and 10 touchdowns and 15 interceptions.
Well, it's really interesting. The backup quarterbacks who never did anything in the league are the ones that are most critical.
Chase Daniels, another one.
Yeah. Now Brady's not critical of anybody, so I don't take what he said. I like guys that take a chance, but.
Yeah, Mike, and I had some friends that seen Ray. He was like a little dot over in the section 4000 and at the Sixers Stadium. He had his
4000
so he could watch the game. He was a little speck on the wall.
Big talk from a guy that could be screened out every single day if I want to, Ish. A lot of talk from you.
Yes.
The
hand that controls the board is the hand that rules the world.
Yeah, sometimes you're going too far. You tweak Ray. Sometimes doesn't have the humor we would like about getting his balls broken.
Yeah, Ray doesn't really like.
No, he's not a willing brawl breakee.
He doesn't. But I'm sticking with Ray on this one. I like that he's staying true. He paid for his seat. You know what he's like? He's like Lorenzo from A Bronx Tale. Remember when Sonny offers them to come down ringside, and Lorenzo said, "I paid for my seat. I like my seat. You want to go down there? You go." Right, Ray? You could have gone down. No. They said to you, "That's Ray Dunn from Temple," and you said, "No, I paid for my seat."
Lorenzo being passive-aggressive in that particular position, right?
Yeah, he was a little bit.
But, no. See, this is the thing Ray will learn. The more he gets to be a big star, and people see him up in the nosebleed seat, they'll go, "What, Ray, what? You can't afford a better seat?"
Yeah. Well, he's just a man of the people.
No.
Exactly.
Quite literally.
I've gotten that many times. I sat really high at a Penn State-Notre Dame game, and people recognize me. "Look, miss, you got this seat up here? You must not have any clout at all." All right. It's 1 o'clock.
Well, when I take you to the Flyers game, my seats are row 13 center ice. Perfect seats. So you'll feel like a big shot.
When are you doing that, by the way?
I don't know. We're going to go in February. I got to get some dates and figure out which game I want to go to with you.
All right,
it's got to be a good one.
Make sure it's a good opponent.
Yeah, I'm going to bring – Mike's going to be a Flyers fan again. We're getting him there.
I don't want to see them beat up some also-ran. Is there an also-ran that they beat up? You're listening to Mike Missanelli Show on WPEN and WPEN HD1. It's a Beasley Media Group station, and we are live right here at the Super Bowl. Not exactly at the Super Bowl. We are in Radio Row in the big convention center where it goes on for miles with all kinds of media representatives and big companies And we're here for the next 3 days with the morning crew.
Yes, morning crew's here. Jen Scordo's here doing a great job. Mike Vito, who's our engineer, he's also now stalking out Chris Sims. We just got a text from him. He is staying close to see if I could snag him. So we're trying to get Chris Sims to come on here and face the music for all the hate he has bestowed upon Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. So stay tuned if we can get him.
Yeah, that's good work by Vito if we can get Chris Sims. Maybe Chris will have the courage to do it.
I'm not going to hold my breath, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Right,
look, there's Malcolm Jenkins over there.
Oh, it is Malcolm.
Yeah, Malcolm.
Oh, we got to get Malcolm.
We definitely got to get Malcolm. I say it every time.
Malcolm. All right, let's go to Jamie. He's calling from D.C. Jamie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Jamie?
Hey, guys. How's it doing down there?
It's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, it's 2 out of 3 years, right? Traveling, it's like a vacation, but a business trip, huh?
Yeah, well, there you go. And, tonight you get a chance to get a nice dinner somewhere in New Orleans, which is a great cuisine city. Our hotel, I swear to God, our hotel. For the people that have seen this series called Your Honor, I swear to God, the hotel we're staying at, the front part of it I saw on Your Honor. They used it for, I think they used it for the backdrop.
I have not seen it.
I'm telling you, if you see this Your Honor show with Bryan Cranston. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Nice.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Maybe get yourself a nice bottle of wine. I know they like vino, and
there's a lot of good wine bars around here too.
So I wanted to bring up about defense and Spags. Spags has a history with the way he calls games, and it's a great matchup. You have the matchup for the Eagles defense coordinator and Spags, and it's always kind of been analytically pointed out that you roll Hurts, who's right-handed, to his left, and you get him off his balance and stuff. So I was curious to see how we counteract that. Do we throw to the tight end in the flats on the left side a few times, get him, some short little routes like they did to start the game against the Commanders? And, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Bill, I think everyone else is just coming around, bud. They're just coming around for that voice of reason, crying out like the man in the wilderness. But thanks
I appreciate
for taking my
it,
call,
man.
guys. You have a great day.
All right, brother. You're the voice of reason. Is that what he said?
Of course I am. I have been preaching about this team and this coach all season long, and now we're finally sitting here in New Orleans. But it's a good call by Jamie about forcing him to roll to his left because he's not as effective. But this is why I think it's so important for the Eagles to not change up what got them here, which is leaning on that rushing attack. Because if they're able to get in those third and short situations, it makes it more difficult for Spagnuolo to dial things up that forces Jalen to roll left. It's stay ahead of the chains, lean on that rushing attack. I think when Jalen needs to beat you with his arm, he can, but he might not even have to. We've seen that all season long. What games did Jalen have to beat you with his arm? He did it last week, although it wasn't necessary. He had a good game. He did it against the Steelers, although that probably wasn't necessary. Outside of that, no team has really shut down the run that's forced Jalen to do things he didn't want to do. That's why I feel so confident about this game, man. I just feel so confident. And I told you during the break, there's some Twitter handle, Chiefs Receipts, who clipped a couple of posts from our show with me being confident, and they're retweeting it, and I'm getting attacked by Chiefs fans, and I'm standing on it. And I hope they come back on Monday and tell me I was right, that the Eagles are going to blow out the damn Chiefs. They have not faced a team like this Eagles team, an offensive line like this Eagles offensive line, and certainly a running back-quarterback combination that has Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. I know the Ravens had it. And Lamar went for over 100 yards in week 1, but they don't have the offensive line the Eagles have. So bring it, Chiefs Receipts.
All righty. By the way, I've been noshing today on a very interesting little thing. Cam Jurgens has his representative walking around here today. Cam could not be here today, by the way.
Yeah, he was a little busy.
He's a little busy. They're practicing they believe they play in a game on Sunday. But anyway, Cam Jurgens has produced a brand of beef jerky. It's called Jergy.
Yeah, it was his nickname, and then he turned it into a business.
Yeah, and so I have here, I ate 1 pack, and this is the teriyaki beef jerky, and it says 90. So you don't like this, do you, Bill?
Nah, I'm not a huge jerky guy.
9 grams of protein Bill.
Yeah, it's a nice way to get your protein. I'm just not a huge fan of jerky. I don't like it stuck in my teeth.
I'm a tremendous fan of jerky, and it was pretty good jerky. And it says really had a cool logo. I don't know if people can see this here. It's like a Texas Longhorn steer, and it says Cam Jurgens, pro football player, co-founder, chief beef officer.
Not to be mistaken, yeah.
Chief beef officer. So good work by Cam Jurgens with the jerky. A lot of people go into the jerky business. Like a lot of people go into the tequila business or the vodka business if you're a celebrity.
Do a lot of people go into the jerky business?
Yes. A lot of people go into the jerky. A lot of people produce jerky.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. 610-632-0975. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. It's on 97.5 The Fanatic, and we are live in New Orleans on Radio Row. We're back after this.
What's up, everybody? Andrew DeCecco here, Birds Insider for 97.5 The Fanatic and host of the Birds Insider Report. And it's moments like this that I reflect back on the steps that I've taken in covering this special.
It is 1:10 on the Mike Missanelli Show. Bill, how many times have you been to New Orleans?
This is my 4th time here.
4th time. You have never heard of a muffaletta.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? 4 times in
4
New Orleans.
times. He's never heard of the word muffaletta.
Yeah.
I find that stunning.
I've never heard of a muffaletta.
You know,
I know.
when
I'm stunned.
Jay Glazer was talking about the ADHD.
I know. I didn't want to say it because it's undiagnosed, but I wanted to tell him it's
undiagnosed.
I understand the pain.
And you go, I don't like ham. What,
Yeah.
do you like Italian hoagies?
No, honestly,
no.
This is a violation.
I can't.
I'm more of a turkey guy than an Italian
I
hoagie
just can't.
guy.
But, so
I like prosciutto, but I
That's
don't
a
like just
violation.
straight ham
Yeah.
or even like.
Listen, an Italian hoagie done well, it has gabagool. It has
A little gabagool?
prosciutto.
I
It's
like
got
prosciutto.
a sharp provolone, and it's got salami, a nice Genoa salami. And
Genoa
that's
salami I
the same
could
thing
do.
that's in a muffaletta, except it's a round roll, like a round loaf. It's big, it's huge, and it has an olive tapenade in it.
See, during the break, I was telling you this article at The Athletic where they put in all these foods you got to try. Now, this I would try. A collard green melt. This thing looks awesome.
My nephew Justin, who lives down here in the area, he's a Gulf Coast kid. Missanelli living in the Gulf Coast, by the way, told me about the turkey and the wolf, the sandwich shop down here.
And I want to try this. I may have to go here after the show. I see Vito trying to get us Malcolm Jenkins. I'd love to get Malcolm on, so we'll see if we can make that happen.
Oh, by the way, it has mortadella, sometimes mortadella also.
The mortadella, as Tony Soprano would say.
The mortadella with the crusty bread and the provolone. And you slice the bread in half, you scoop out the insides of the bread, and then you put the meats in the muffaletta.
I'm getting killed in the chat for being a fake Italian.
You are. It's hard to believe. All right, let's go back to the phones with Brian. It's calling from Dallas. Brian, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Brian.
Hey, Mike, Bill, how's it going?
What's up, Brian?
Want to say something to you. Hey, how's it going? So, Mike, you bring up a real good point, right? But I think your point about, like, when you asking now who people would take kind of distorts Bill's point of his original argument, which was his angst with Dan Orlovsky is that Orlovsky is saying there's nothing Hurts can do. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Bill, that's his issue. And I agree Orlovsky is wrong there, all right? Because let's look at it this way. Let's see if I can fly you guys back, both of you, back to a time machine 33 years ago with the same point, right? Just before the Super Bowl, we got a quarterback who's been in the league for 5 years. He's playing in his first Super Bowl, and that would be Aikman, right? And Orlovsky said that there's nothing Aikman could do to be on the level of being the conversation of Moon, Marino, Young, and Elway at that time, right? Because those were your top quarterbacks, right? And then, Mike, you came back and said to Bill, who would you choose Aikman over? Bill would probably say no. However, we obviously know now, because Aikman won championships, right? He was successful in the playoffs. He's definitely in that conversation. So the same thing could be said for Hurts.
Listen, I agree with you. I just don't think the story is written yet where you can put him into that conversation. And it may be written. I think what Orlovsky is saying is that he's never going to be the thrower that those guys are, and that's a major part of the equation in today's football. That's what I think Orlovsky is saying, that he's never going to have that arm strength to be successful in a passing age.
I can agree with that. I mean, that's an inference, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, based on what Orlovsky said about there's nothing he could do, I'm with Bill. I don't agree with that at all.
I agree with you, and I agree with Bill. Of course he can do. Like, Montana didn't have jet fuel when he threw the ball, but he had a way of winning, and he's considered by a lot of people the best of all time. So, yeah, Hurts can do that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, man.
I agree.
Thank you.
Right,
Thanks for the call, Brian.
Good time,
Appreciate
go Birds.
All right, man.
Go Birds is
Go
right.
Birds.
Yeah, and I don't disagree, Mike, when you say as a passer. Now, I think Jalen doesn't get enough credit for his passing ability. He's not as good of a passer as Burrow. I agree with that. But he's still a good passer.
Yeah,
we have seen him do it.
He's never going to have the wow factor. Arlovsky and those guys look at a lot at the wow factor, right? And the way those four guys throw the football are always going to be better than Hurts. Hurts is not going to, like, all of a sudden wake up one day and he's going to be able to throw like those guys. And I think that's important to a guy like Orlovsky.
Well, yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why we were asking the question, why is it always these backup quarterbacks who are the ones criticizing Hurts? And it's because they probably look at his throwing ability as not being elite, and they're trying to knock him down a peg. But again, the last time I checked, rushing yards count the same. Rushing touchdowns count the same, and Jalen does that better than most. Maybe you would say Lamar and Josh Allen are the only two that can run the ball with the same effectiveness that Jalen can.
Yeah.
So you can't remove that from the equation. And when you talk about the wow factor, first quarter divisional round against the Rams, when Jalen took it 44 yards for a touchdown, I'm pretty sure I said, wow. I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, but the wow, Lamar gives you that wow, and he throws the football and gives you the same wow. All right, let's go to Nick and Ewing. Nick, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Nick.
Hey, what's up, Mike, Bill,
What's up,
Ray?
Nick?
Enjoying the show.
Thank you, buddy.
So, I have a couple factors here on if Hurts can win this game. I believe he's going to have to obviously utilize his ability, like to scramble. Of course, throw the ball to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. But what's been triggering me with these answers, like by the Dan Orlovsky, is that his name? Of course he deserves to be in the conversation. Look what he's done, since his rookie year up until now. 2 Super Bowls, 2 NFC Championship games. The list goes on, and his stats keep on growing, and his overall growth keeps on growing. And for me, I'm a Charger fan. I think he's above my quarterback, Justin Herbert, because,
he definitely is above Justin Herbert. No, he's like, I can make a case for him to be number 5, and I think that's fair right now. But as far as that other tier, and we'll continue to discuss that. But we right now have a special guest. Man, this is one of the most popular Eagles that's ever played. Man, he's right there. You're in that list of the Eagles that people go, wow, I wish we had Malcolm Jenkins back. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Malcolm Jenkins. How you doing, Malcolm?
I appreciate that. That's a compliment.
And you know that. You've heard that. You've heard that from people.
I have. But no, y'all don't need me. Trust me. You do not need me right now.
All right. So how do you feel about this Super Bowl? And you're back in New Orleans. You played here. Obviously, you played with the Eagles. Do you still have that Eagle loyalty at all?
Of course. I live in both cities, actually. So
okay.
I'm back and forth between New Orleans and Philadelphia. So this is the perfect kind of matrix for me. The stars are aligning with obviously the Super Bowl being here and the Eagles being in it. I love watching this team play. As now I've kind of moved further into fandom, watching the style of football that this team plays, the toughness, the resilience, is something that I've been able to genuinely be proud to watch.
Yeah, let's look at the safeties and how Vic Fangio has met. Have you ever had experience with Vic?
No, I haven't.
None. So you know how he plays. Now, the Eagles kind of had to rebuild that defense, and they rebuilt it by bringing C.J. Gardner-Johnson back, and he had that New Orleans brand as well. But the 2 rookies that have come in, Cooper DeJean and Quint Mitchell, Quint Mitchell, and in conjunction with Blankenship, that defensive backfield has been fantastic for them this year.
They've been consistent, and I think that's really what you want out of your secondary. Cooper DeJean in the slot is doing things that nobody expected him to do. I think they keep his package really manageable, and he's athletic enough to really get that job done. I think the addition of Zach Bond is something that nobody saw coming, and has completely changed the interior of that defense. And then C.J. Gardner-Johnson coming back is your stabilizer outside of Slay, who's a voice, who's the energy, who can get guys lined up. And Blankenship, he continues to make plays. When the ball comes, he's opportunistic. And I think those things, if you can consistently be that as a secondary, you don't give up a ton of big plays, you'll compete in this league against anybody.
So you were the intellectual controlled C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Right? Look at the way you played.
You know what? So C.J. Gardner-Johnson was with me as a young guy in New Orleans.
Yes.
And I've been able to give him a lot of my game. He's much more intelligent than people give him credit for. His game, all of his trash talk is calculated. He's not just somebody who's out of control. He knows how to get people kicked out of a game. He knows how to do that. But his football IQ is way up there. If you watch him play, sometimes it looks like he's blitzing gaps, and this is him seeing something before the snap and triggering, trusting his film study and making plays consistently. And that is, you can't play the safety position in that type of manner if you are not extremely intellectual.
We're talking to Malcolm Jenkins. Malcolm, when you look at the Eagles offense, people have held on to this narrative all year long that you can't win by running the football. You can't win without your quarterback making sensational plays. The game has changed so much. It seems like nobody can stop what they do. It's a simple attack. They run the football, and they keep the ball out of the other team's hands by not turning it over.
Yeah. Well, the reason that everybody's saying that, right, that you can't do this, you can't do that, is because the majority of the league is built in the other direction, right, where it's a pass-first offense. If you can't pass the ball or keep up with scoring, then you don't do well. Well, that is also what plays into the Eagles' advantage, because not many teams, you're not going to play the Eagles week in and week out, which means you're not even seeing teams that are going to line up and run the ball this consistently with a running back like this week in and week out. And so you've got to try to prepare for that on a week and 2 weeks. And I think it's something that travels well, something that can be consistent, that can keep you in multiple games. But it requires you to play, a game that limits mistakes, right? Because you can't do it and turn the ball over a lot. And I think this team has figured out that formula. They figured out their identity and has stuck to it. And I hope as they get ready to play this game that they stick exactly to who they are.
Tell us what you're doing now. I know you're here and you're spreading the word about art. And I didn't know where you were going to go with your career. In fact, somebody called me once and said, Malcolm wants to do a podcast. Would you be interested in pairing up with him? And like, are you doing a podcast now?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not?
No, I'm
okay,
not.
What are you doing right now?
So I wanted to figure out how to take all of my passions that I was working on while I was playing. So the businesses I was developing, I was collecting art, but and obviously playing ball. Once the ball is gone, I'm like, how do I take the same passion and desire and discipline I had toward the game and aim it at the things that I love? And so I've been focused really on my foundation, on collecting art in the businesses I've been developing and figuring out how to create opportunities to change the lives of my peers, to change the lives of the communities that I'm invested in through those vehicles. So art is one of the reasons we're here. New Orleans is one of those cities where the athletes and the artists are the city's heroes. And so it's a great opportunity for us to celebrate that intersection and really introduce those two worlds. And so we partnered with Phillips Auction House to come here. I've got artists that are donating works, and we're introducing them to the athletes who obviously I hope to be collectors, all in an effort to raise money for my foundation that affects everywhere we call home: Ohio, Louisiana, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey.
Do you also paint?
I'm actually my practice is more of a photographer. I like cameras. I love images. I just fall in love with artists like Gordon Parks and what those images hold, how they kind of freeze history and stories in time. And I really got into photography through Larry Fitzgerald. He was a guy, when I came in the league, was kind of a mentor for me. And I've watched how he navigated not only the sport, but also the business world and also the art space. And now follow suit.
You look fantastic, by the way. You're like 30 pounds lighter than your playing weight, aren't you?
Nah, probably around the same.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
You look amazing.
If I lose too much weight, I start turning look like a bobblehead.
Yeah, last thing I got, you're an Ohio State guy.
Yeah, go Bucks.
Now, I'm a Penn State guy.
It's okay.
All right, so, but wait a minute. It's a new dawn.
Is
you see, because you won a national championship. They dominated. I give them a lot of credit. Now you lost everybody. You lost your coordinators, and now Penn State comes in the next season as the #1 ranked. So it's a new day, Malcolm. How you feel about Penn State taking over the Big Ten?
Listen, we'll get there. When we get to that bridge, I'm still celebrating this championship. You're not gonna rush us past that. We're still at the top of the hill.
Oh, congratulations, Malcolm! Thanks for spending some time with us. We appreciate it. Malcolm Jenkins, everybody.
Thanks, man.
We'll take a break. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Looking for a different result? I'm right down with this Fanatic Sports Update, and it's brought to you by Primo Hoagies. Make the big game Primo with the catering tray from Primo Hoagies. Plan ahead to place your orders online. The new Primo Hoagies app. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo. Just 2 years removed from the loss of the Chiefs Super Bowl 57, Hurts and the Eagles find themselves back matching up with KC in Super Bowl 59 during his media session on Tuesday. Hurts was asked about the difference in him since that time.
Thinking about all the games we've played since then, all the moments we've had, all the opportunities we've had, just being a more mature person, growing, better leader, all of these things that I've been able to push myself and push the threshold of my whole entire career.
Hurts and Sirianni both addressed the media earlier today, and we've got a chance to hear from a number of people from down in New Orleans here on the Mike Missanelli Show. Charles Barkley joined the show, Jay Glazer joined the show, and you just heard from Malcolm Jenkins. All of those interviews will be available for you one more time on our website, 975thefanatic.com, also on our YouTube channel. Elsewhere in Philadelphia, a pair of trades for the 76ers in the last 2 days, trading out 2 different Martins. Caleb Martin going to the Mavericks for Quentin Grimes in a second-round pick. KJ Martin headed to the Pistons, and they did win last night, 118-116. That'd be the 76ers over the Mavericks. They've got the Heat tonight. You can listen right here on the Fanatic. Flyers lost 3-2 last night in Utah. This update's also brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Ed code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 975 The Fanatic, 975thefanatic.com.
Ricky Bottalico.
You know as well as I do, Patrick Mahomes likes that quick 2-step look to the right, back, or a bubble screen on the right side, or maybe hit his tight ends.
He has a lot to say about the Birds.
The other problem he's going to really have is that the defense of the Eagles, they are a blanket. They are everywhere.
Hear Ricky with Tyrone Johnson on the best show ever. Weekday afternoons 2 to 6, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
White whale.
We have spoken to Chris Sims's people. We are trying to make it happen maybe tomorrow or Friday.
Okay.
We're hoping he doesn't suck.
He's got to answer.
He is going to answer for his takes.
He could be a man.
Wait, what's this from again?
That's from The Godfather.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When all else fails, I should just
you can act like a man
and just say that. But yeah, we're going to tell him to trademark Simsies, and we'll have him come up with his best Simsies.
Exactly. No, he's getting pulled all around.
Yeah, he is getting pulled around.
Going there. He's still got the top button on.
He's got the top
try
button.
That top button thing. Let's see how this looks.
In person, it looks even worse. It looks even worse in person.
I'm going to got top button for the rest of the show. All right.
I'm not getting out. He's got on like joggers.
Okay, I'm going top button. What do you think, Jeff? No?
No, it doesn't look right on you.
Doesn't work? Okay.
Well, he's got on joggers with a dress shirt, untucked with the top button. I don't know. The whole thing.
I don't hate the way what he's got on now.
I don't know the whole thing.
He likes the top button thing.
Maybe I'm just hating.
You know what it is, man.
Maybe I'm just hating.
All right.
How about Malcolm Jenkins taking offense? You told him he looked skinny. He's like, I'm the same weight I've always been.
Didn't he look svelte, thin? I mean, I remember him all muscled up.
Yeah, he was always kind of in shape.
Really?
Remember, he played safety, so those guys aren't.
Did he look like he was 200 pounds?
I mean, I'm 215.
Well, but you're a big lug meathead.
No, I'm saying he looks bigger than I did.
Of course you're going to be over 200 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, he looks about my size, I thought.
No, he looked thinner than you. Jen, didn't you look thinner? Yeah, he looked a lot thinner.
Maybe it was the cream color. Doesn't that make you look? Nah, it doesn't thin you out. It makes you heavier.
So we were, as we were leaving yesterday, I see Bill stuffing in his bag like 20 Kind bars.
Yeah, easily 20. I had to bring them with me. I already ate one today.
So last night, we met those guys out, the morning show guys, and they're having fried oyster po' boys. You would not go near that, would you? A fried oyster po' boy.
When in Rome. So, like here, I probably would just because to experience it. But no, at home, I'm probably not doing a fried po' boy now. Probably not.
When in Rome.
When in Rome.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Do we have any more text of interest, Ray? Any more text of interest?
Oh, while he's looking for text, let me give you an update on our YouTube poll here.
Okay, what do you got?
So we asked the question, should Jalen Hurts be in the conversation with Burrow, Allen, and Lamar? We have close to 500 votes. 76% say yes.
Well, that's shocking.
He should be in the conversation.
It really shocks me. I mean, I can't imagine that he could be in the conversation right now.
He should be.
In the future, yes. Not right now.
What do we got on the text board, Ray? More agreement with me on this?
We got some in agreement with you, some frustrated with you. So, normal day on the text line. We got someone saying Hurts should be in the conversation because he's been in the Super Bowl now for the second time in 3 years. Where are Jackson, Allen, and Burrow? They are all at home. Another texter that was upset with the fact that we were having this conversation, the fact that you were talking and you compared him, I think, to a Hall of Famer at some point, and jumped to the idea of this is way too far, way too soon. And if you did a poll this year about the number of things that went into this team winning, Hurts would pull at the lowest percentage if you went defense, Saquon, offensive line, and Jalen Hurts.
So they don't want to give Jalen any credit.
You know who spent a lot of time at home? Favre, Peyton Manning, Elway, the top five quarter, Marino, like all those guys spent a lot of time at home too, right?
Yeah, over their careers.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Because the point is that Allen's never been to a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson's never been there. All the guys you referenced got there at some point in their careers. And to just highlight, the texter said that I compared him to a Hall of Famer. What I said was, Mike brought up something about the Hall of Fame, and my point was that if Jalen Hurts continues on the trajectory he's on, if you take his first 4 seasons as a starter, if he does that for another 5 or 6 years, yeah, I think he would be in the Hall of Fame conversation.
Well, but that's not all of a sudden now it comes in for the next 4 or 5 years?
No, that's about Hall of Fame.
So you're all right, you've already made it clear. You think right now he should be in the conversation. I do not. And that doesn't mean I'm trying to criticize him. I put him on just a notch tier below the Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes foursome. All right, we go to Owen in Delco. Owen, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Owen.
Hey, gentlemen, how's it going?
What's up, Owen?
Hope everybody down in New Orleans is really bringing that Birds energy, getting ready for this big game. I'm so confident in this game. Just wanted to touch on the topic of Jalen Hurts not really even being in the conversation as these guys. Just to say, last time he played Joe Burrow, he blew him out in Cincinnati. Last time he played Lamar Jackson, won handily in Baltimore. Last time he played Josh Allen, he beat him too in Philadelphia. Last time he played Mahomes, he damn near or overplayed, basically outplayed him in the Super Bowl, threw for 300 yards. A lot of factors.
He actually played him. He played him since then. He played him since then too. If you remember, they beat him last year. You remember that? That was before the collapse. But the Chiefs lost that game to the Eagles at Arrowhead or whatever it's called now, GEHA or GEHA, whatever that place is. But the Eagles beat him on the road last year in Kansas City too.
Right. I mean, that just points more to how I don't know how you could say he's not.
Well, he didn't beat him single-handedly, bro. He didn't win this game single-handedly. The Eagles had a pretty good defensive team that supported him in games like that. But I hear your point.
They did.
Listen, I'm not trying to denigrate him in any way. I just think that what Orlovsky said is pretty spot on. Not now could you put him in the conversation. You could put him around the conversation. You can't put him in with those four. Because I'll ask you the same question I asked Bill. Who are you taking? Are you taking Hurts? Or are you taking Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Patrick Mahomes?
I think he hung up.
He hung up. He hung up. He hung up before he could answer the question?
I think
let's take a break. It's the Mike Missanelli Show coming down the home stretch. Back after this.
Now, a Birds Insider update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
2 big-time hires. I'm Ray Dunn with his Birds Insider.
Down the home stretch of the show. We had a lot of fun here today. You got in late last night and got a little sleep. I got up early. I almost missed to judge the time for the Fox 29 show, which was at the Cafe Beignet right there on Bourbon Street. We're right in the middle of the French Quarter. So the gendarmes were getting ready last night, putting the barriers up there. So you can be rest assured you're going to be safe here. They've got a lot of a law enforcement presence, including some National Guardsmen that are walking around in the camos.
Yeah, it's on lockdown.
It is. And so Eagle fans are doing. I know that a lot of Eagle fans will be coming in today, tomorrow, the next day. So Eagle fans will be flooding these streets. And if you're listening out there and you're on your way down here, just don't cause the mayhem. Have fun without the mayhem. Don't get in any trouble. Don't exacerbate this unfair reputation that we have here for being bad sports fans. Be good fans, root for your squad, and hopefully you take home a dub.
And talking about
Sunday.
Maybe an unfair reputation, maybe a fair reputation. Pac-Man Jones just walked by.
Oh, was that Pac-Man?
That was Pac-Man.
With his entourage?
With his entourage.
Yeah, a big entourage. Was he making it rain?
I don't know.
Up the way there?
He's got a reputation.
Yes, he does. All right, we got Greg from Bethlehem. Boy, I haven't heard from Greg in like 12 hours. So here's Greg from Bethlehem. What's up, Greg? How you doing, Greg? I haven't heard from you in a long time.
No, it's been about 24 hours, probably.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess you got it in late, so you haven't had your shrimp etouffee yet.
No, we shrimp etouffee. That's too common. It's too common in a New Orleans order. You know, you expand your horizons. You got to go beyond the shrimp etouffee.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I haven't.
That was my partner, Steve Frederick's favorite dish, shrimp etouffee. He loved shrimp etouffee.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like what I like, and sometimes I don't venture beyond that. But question I had was, do you think Kellen Moore has anything in his bag of tricks that we haven't seen?
Yeah, I think it's possible, Greg. I mean, go back to the NFC Championship game. Dallas Goedert got a speed option, didn't he? Didn't he have a carry in that game? So, I mean, they did some interesting things. If you remember, too, they did a play. I think Saquon's one of his long runs. They had Devontae Smith look like he was going to catch a sweep coming around the end. I mean, it looked like he dialed up some things last week. I mean, I don't expect necessarily, trick plays in this game. I think when you resort to trick plays, it's because you don't have faith in your offense. And I think if they establish the run like I expect them to do, why do a trick play? That goes back to what Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson decided to do in their game against the Commanders. There was no reason for them to run a wide receiver throw with Jamison Williams that resulted in a turnover. So, I mean, maybe they'll dial up some different things, but I'm not expecting trick plays because to me that's desperation.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. I guess it depends on the situation. We haven't seen that shovel pass up the middle for a while. Kansas City is famous for that.
That's Andy Reid's staple, man. He loves the shovel pass.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Do you really have to do anything like exotic?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you have to. Stick to what works.
Yeah, I don't think you have to do anything exotic. I don't think you have to overthink this game.
No. Establish the run.
They have to play against your strengths. Now, you know what their strength is, right? So you got to stop that quarterback. But you have to play to your strength is to use your offensive line, you use Saquon Barkley, and you make some timely throws, and that's the end of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's interesting? I was looking up this whole Vic Fangio thing when we talk about stopping Patrick Mahomes, because we keep hearing the number that he's 0-8 against Patrick Mahomes, Vic Fangio, that is.
Yeah.
If you went and actually looked at, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if you looked at what the offenses on those teams did in those games, it doesn't necessarily make you feel nervous about Vic Fangio going up against Patrick Mahomes. He's not done a terrible job. It's just that they got nothing offensively. And I expect the Eagles to get things offensively done on Sunday.
All right, let's go to we got Tom in Hatfield here. Tom, I think this might be our last caller of the day. Tom, what's up? You're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Mike, what's going on?
How you doing, Tom?
Doing good. How you doing?
We're doing fantastic. It's been a fun day for us down here.
I think so. I just wanted to thank you for the time. I mentioned I appreciate the show, and I actually think you're underrated, Mike.
I'm underrated.
Mike or the show?
I think you're absolutely right. I think you're right. This is the truest call we've had all day.
Wait, who's underrated?
I'm so underrated.
Mike as an individual or the show? I can get behind the show being underrated. I don't know.
I love the show. You're included, but experience matters, right?
You're absolutely right. I've been underrated for 35 years.
Wait, you've been doing this for 35 years? I thought you just started in
I've
August.
been underrated every single damn year.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a long time. Do you think that losing Barkley feels like when the Sixers lost Jimmy Butler?
Wait, who
losing Barkley? What do you mean losing Barkley?
The Giants.
Oh, the Giants losing Barkley.
Yeah.
Listen. He started to hit a wall with the Giants, and it's probably because their quarterback wasn't any good and their offensive line wasn't any good. And I think people up there said, he's kind of lost a little bit. Maybe the injury took its toll. They totally misjudged him. They instead of evaluating their own damn team being weak, they went the other way with it, and the Eagles took advantage, man. That's where I got to give the Eagles credit. Like they said, no, there's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with him at all. In fact, he's motivated to be the best ever, and the Giants didn't see that, and that's why they're a sucky organization.
I agree with you. I think we capitalized. I think that there was a point in time for the last time we won the Super Bowl that I think I called in. Alshon Jeffrey was on the free agent block. There was James Jones from the Packers. And I was like, look, man, if we get Jeffrey, I think he's a big-time wide receiver. They're like, it might have been Sean Brace and someone else. But they were just like, no, I don't think so. And then, he comes in, he's a big receiver. So what I'm saying is, yes, I'm glad that we brought in talent, right? I mean, if you look at Allen Iverson, we trade away for, like, Andre Miller and Joe Smith. I don't know. Terrell Owens we let walk. Jimmy Butler we let leave. What else we got? LaShawn for what? I think it was Kiko from the Bills. That wasn't a good move. So there's just like a lot of Philadelphia time where we choose people over talent, if you don't mind me saying. So I think this time we did it right. And we made sure that
there's no
took the money out, we got the talent, and then now you're like, this is one of the best running backs ever.
Yeah. There's no question, Tom. All right, so on Hurts, you have been in conversation with those four?
Yes, I think that Hurts differentiates through rushing touchdowns. So McNabb, back in the day, I was like, McNabb has a lot of rushing touchdowns. This is probably 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Before it became right. So I think he was close, and he didn't get it. But I think that Jalen differentiates through touchdowns. I think he has 9 in the playoffs. There was a lot of different quarterbacks like John Elway, where they looked at playoff rushing touchdown that he was above. So, I love Jalen. I do. I think also that deep ball, he's underrated, right? They used to say.
Well, he throws the deep ball pretty well. And but that is set up by the run. So
it is. And real quick on that Barkley stuff. I mean, he's going to make history on Sunday. He needs 3 yards, I think, to have the most scrimmage yards in a season, regular season playoffs. He needs 30 to have the most rushing yards, regular season in the playoffs. Literally the best.
Are you listening to Ray?
I heard him.
He said 15. We got 5 seconds left. Shut up.
It's
the Mike Missanelli Show. Thanks, everybody, for listening and calling. We'll be back at this spot tomorrow. Take care, buddy.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Welcome back, everybody.